express an interest in perfection. To love is to devote an active charity towards the mistakes and aberrations. One day, we will all require the charity of others. In one way or another, we'll be on our knees, and we will need people to look past our evident failings in a tender search for our deeply hidden merits.
Now, don't you feel silly when you're looking for that bag? Come on, everybody! For goodness sake, look out! Hey, what's happening? Welcome back. I'm AronMSound, and this is the show known as Lookup, where I, AronMSound, in the third person in this case, interject himself into conversations. By the way, that was interdiction, and then interject in one word. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. But anyways, I put myself in conversations that nobody in their right mind asked me to be a part of. And by doing so, I hope to stretch the conversation and get it to go somewhere else. And today I have something really important to share with you, and it's about love. Not just any kind of love, but that real love that we with that companionship, that real connection between humans. Yeah. Now, I promise you answers. And so I realized I had just been looking and gotten caught up in the maze, just like the rest of them. I'd done 25 videos in the maze. I took 24 because I took one off to have some silly times, and I realized when I came up out of it, I'm not sharing love. I've just been screaming at ya. But that's okay, because I think you get it. I think you understand why. And without further ado, let me introduce you to an incredible organization called the School of Life. Let me say this again.
Ready
They're
for it?
called the School of Life.
I think they heard it.
I
Hi.
think I need to drop.
What's
drop
up,
the bass
everybody?
for this,
Mama
all right?
She.
I think you need to drop the. You ready? Are you ready? I'm ready.
True. I'll have to find a cut of that.
School of Life.
Thanks for coming on by. We're starting with an older video of mine.
Now, I originally ran into these
video
people doing a show,
25.
and I was doing some production
Coming back
management.
on. How bad
space.
we are.
And
And
this was a
love.
very big to-do, and I expected a massive audience, and it turns out that
No.
there was only like 100 people, and I'm like, wow,
Nerp.
they just didn't do very well. No.
Not.
Turns out these people
Didn't happen
host education
because people didn't show
the
up
top 1%.
the way they wanted.
This is the information that gets hidden from you. And
True.
it's common, human, basic empathy
I was talking
psychology.
to incels, by the way, not you folks,
And
because I
say
know that
common
it's
because
not hidden
it
from you.
plays
It's
on our
just hidden
roots.
from incels.
It
'cause
plays
they're
on the
not
thought
looking.
that we should all be able to get along and that we're the same, essentially.
True.
That
That's
if
a
you
fact.
know these tricks,
we are the
you
same.
take yourself
Our
out
hearts work the same.
of a battle that is completely manufactured.
Oh,
And it's
fact.
admittedly
Gosh, I'm agreeing with
knowledge.
myself here.
And
Call in going up
answers
shortly.
are given. And I don't want you to wait for love too long.
No,
We
nobody
all
should
deserve
have
to
to
be
wait for
cared for.
love. Experience it
'Cause at some
your
point,
peril and
When we're on our
imperative.
knees, and I quote, we will rely on others. So when you got your bag, is that going to pick you up? When you got your car, is that going to be there when you're sad and lonely?
God, I hope not. That would be creepy.
When you're in your big giant house with only yourself,
Or just your apartment.
is that going to hold your hand while you're sick?
If it has a hand, there's something definitely wrong.
These are the things that are really important.
True. I'm agreeing with
The
myself
look
again.
of your bum,
It's nice.
or the
It's
size
nice.
of your schlong, or the width of your
I mean,
T-zone.
I'd have to gather that's probably
Does
nice
this
too.
matter?
No, not really.
When you can't get up out of a chair and you just need someone to bring you some water? And you
Yeah,
want
none of
them
that
to
shit
know you?
matters. You're just hoping they got
I
legs.
say no!
Or wheels, for
No! No!
No.
You and I both know that.
True. We all know that, right?
And that's why I want to share this with you. So let's check it out, shall we? Here we go. Woo!
Come on in, folks.
Yeah.
The stream is fun. I'm AronMSound.
Ah. I'm sorry. Let's get in.
That's a nurse. True. Who are we nursing here?
The world is sick for a surprisingly
And this is the show
modest-sounding
known
reason.
as Lookup.
We don't understand love. And yet, we're rather convinced that we do.
And that's something that keeps coming up in all of these shows.
True.
Over and over again. People
Over
talk
and
about
over
the situation.
and over.
They talk about how people behave and the bad behaviors. But all they're doing is holding up a large megaphone and screaming out into the world, look at what it is! Huh? Meh. Guess you better be one of them or you're screwed. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
not true.
different.
They
We don't
want you to
even
believe it's
know
true.
what love is anymore. And we must take our examples from the base standards of romanticism, companionship,
Oh,
reality,
yeah. Please.
and sense of value for each and every one of us. Because we all deserve to have our hand held when we are
Fact.
feeling well. We all
Fact.
deserve
Fact.
to have someone hear us and care.
Yeah, I hope you have someone like that.
There's enough of us, and it's built into us to do so.
True.
We talk about all of these ancient practices that are traditional, but we don't talk about traditional cooperation and traditional sense of communal care. No, we want to look at the vicious nature. And I say that in itself is a sales tactic to undermine us and to not give us the full potential and allowance of our greater human selves.
Yeah, we want to
We
be loved.
adapt, we overcome, we evolve.
And we get better at
And for
loving
those
one
who
another.
don't want it to be that way, it's because they're afraid and don't like to stretch.
Yeah, stretch
And
that
I'm
shit.
saying, get yourself
Stretch your heart.
limber.
Stretch your
'Cause
soul.
I'm gonna bring it on.
True.
Ready to break down that prison? You with me? Are you with me? You sure? Because this thing,
Oh yeah, I'm bringing you water, Jade. Come on. You asked for it, I will bring it and wet your lips. Come on, all day long. That's what people do when they
We talk
care.
a lot of love, of course, but generally in terms of a dizzying rapture lasting
You got a
few
story
months,
about love?
focused on someone's beauty,
You had a heart broken?
intelligence, and strength. We
Had
have
an
high
experience you'd
ideals
like to share?
and refer with confidence.
You're looking
to
for someone to
concepts
care.
like justice, equality, and rights.
Just need to be
And
heard?
yet somehow in the mix, we avoid
looking for
talking
advice?
of the sort of love that would give
looking for an
true
outside
life
ear?
to any of these.
Feel
we
free
are
to call in.
law-abiding and righteous, but we are, in the grandest sense,
that's me in the 80s, by the way.
True. Could be taking a risk.
Please love me. No,
But that's great.
I actually had a lot of good luck.
Sometimes we gotta jump off the cliff because they don't call it jumping to
But yes,
love.
that's-
square.
They call it
without
falling in love.
The most convincing
It implies
definitions of love
risk.
in the West have come from
You've gotta
Jesus
come
of
with a
Nazareth, which has
damn
proved
good personal,
unfortunate,
emotional
given how easy
parachute.
it is for
Because
rational
love
types
isn't
to
a
confuse
singular
an
event.
overcoming of supernatural faith with a neglect of the subject of love.
And this is a big
See,
problem,
and
by the way.
I really like how he directs the answer here.
Oh,
in
well,
some of
don't
the
we
basic
all?
lessons that some of the most problematic folks in the circle,
Yes, we are. The
some of
stories
these
are
lessons that they understand already, but
always
they're
of risk.
neglecting. And for the rest
I mean,
of
and
us,
I'm
it's
no
very simple. Love thy neighbor.
miracle
Care for
worker.
others as you would yourself.
I can only share my stories
that
of
simple.
folly and good
And
times.
I'm not a religious person. If you've watched any of my programs,
But if
I
somebody
do
can
not
learn
believe,
something.
personally, I do not subscribe. Believe what you may. I'm not gonna.
Shit.
I will talk about and
Why not?
stand by my beliefs.
I'm
Stand
there
on
with
that
you, though,
hill. But
Jade.
I'm not going to take
Definitely
yours away
scraped
either
my
because
knees.
I know how the system works, and for you, that's real.
Many times.
And there's enough of you that have made it real for yourselves that, protons interact with your realities.
What's this guy talking about? Protons? Oh yeah,
And I
reality.
don't argue that Yahweh
Electron.
isn't a thing. There's enough of a historical reference towards people looking up at the sky and burning bushes and things catching on fire, and then a whole
How did we get here?
multiple generations of
cares?
people wearing something on top of their head so they couldn't be found. Still to this day. That's convincing impact. So,
Point is, people
I
will
say
love
something.
an idea.
but that's off topic, Aaron. Me? No, 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 not at all.
Yeah.
No,
No.
never.
Never. Righteous Jade, you rule, and I'd love to hear your stories, good or bad. I will console you. I mean, some of our stories, I'll share my sucky stories too. It's all an example. That's
What it's
all
really
we can
about
be.
here is talking about the
And maybe we'll
baselessness
learn
that
from
we
others.
forget and we ignore, and the people who are most of the time taking part in the breaking of the lesson, which is loving your neighbor, having respect for each other. And it boils down to respect, accountability, compassion, cooperation. A name.
That's hard for
term,
people. The co-op, the C words.
An idea that
People are more willing
is
to
often
drop the
just
C
totally
word in
missing
anger
in the
than to say
It's always
cooperation.
subservience or
compromise.
serving or when these are just code words. Cooperation is getting along together. And we
True.
have to do that.
True.
There doesn't have to be a single boss. We've proven that we can get along in society with people ebbing and flowing with their ideas and concepts. It
Oh, you
didn't
know, just
demean us. It
humanity
brought us
at
somewhere
large.
where we're able to have this conversation. But the totalitarians, the tyrannical folks, the folks who would undermine your love,
Don't let them undermine
want
your
you
love.
arguing because
True.
they don't have a solution. Well, they would have you just shrug your shoulders and be like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna get my bag." Those three guys who've got all the women, or whatever if you look at the numbers, by the way,
That's some
I'm referring to
bullshit.
it. It's not-
Remember that for about 3 months
I
there?
would have never.
There's
believed
only
that.
4
I would have
men
never
having
believed
sex
that
with
until
all the
we
women in the
started.
world.
Even
Shut the
that's
fuck
askew.
up,
And
incels.
much of the
Go
reason for
masturbate.
it-
Find yourself a girlfriend
there's
online.
There's an actual program.
In fact, you know
skewing
what?
us
Since you
towards
can't, go find a girlfriend
that
in real life. It'd be a
situation,
lot
and that's
easier.
where
I'm telling you. There's a lot of these
I'm so
things.
upset about.
I sound
the
harsh, but you know what? Some of the lessons
is that
of
they're
life
every one of the parties, the red pill, the
Are
blue pill,
that harsh.
once again, it's this
They suck.
COINTELPRO logic.
They're
of,
painful.
We know who you are. We know that
They're
you're
painful
extreme enough
lessons
to fit
that sometimes
into
we
a
gotta go
box.
through
We'll
multiple
get you
times till we
into
get
those
them, and
boxes,
maybe
fighting
that's the
amongst
beauty.
each other, so you don't notice what the big problem actually is and what the
Don't let
actual
my language
outcome is
scare
gonna
you.
be, because you're too busy fighting over the actual scraps inside of the prison. Throwing your poop bag.
It's a lot
All
less
but
hassle.
guys will bet each
True,
other.
Jade. You've got so many instant
To move forward,
Interactions.
we require a new philosophy of love. In
Mystery
effect,
Sky.
powerful,
Welcome on
secular
in.
religion
We're talking about
of
love tonight.
This should be read out after the news.
We're
and
sharing
its tenets taught to
ideas.
CEOs and supply
Feel free to
chain
call in
managers.
if you got a story
And it is.
or an experience.
And I would
I have a
post
feeling there was a couple people here just looking
that you and
to
I
see if
agree.
I was talking about
Just
other
set something
things.
in our sights.
But nay, no.
Which is the day that the world
Not
will
I.
live
That's
harmony,
other people.
in cooperation and seeing each other as equals.
I also see
better
easy
or
just work.
worse.
That
We aren't
explains
fighting
it.
over the manufactured
Popular
scarcity
guy. Popular
of our
guy.
needs. And I want to call this, believe it or not, I've thought a lot about this,
I get humor out of that, by the way.
the construct of the flying pig. Why?
Oh yeah, that was before I even did
Because
the
you always hear
ministry.
this,
Live at
mythos
3
of,
tomorrow afternoon, by
well,
the way.
when
The
pigs
concept
fly,
is people are just funny ass motherfuckers. Funny ass motherfuckers.
so
But tonight, a story is about
I think
love.
it's time for us to start
I've had a lot of love.
belief,
I've had a lot of
or I say
heartbreak.
a religion of love,
Religion of love.
to fight back.
Isn't that
against
what
the
they all
sickness
promise to be?
That is not the monocultural, monotheistic, There's no mono-human. There are 8 billion of us, and we don't respect each other enough.
True.
And it's love.
Respect each other.
Ooh, love.
True
That
love.
keeps us moving forward. That our care, in tribal sense, is our strength.
Oh,
and our
I'm sorry to
weakness
hear
that's
that,
being
Mystery
used
Sky.
against us by those who
Yeah, there's
would
one or two
consume
folks out there that think they're smart.
and
They try
then
to get into my stuff too.
derelict to dissolve and turn to
They may have
refuge.
been
In
a
other
little
words,
shocked when
there's
they
a
did.
few folks who want to take the majority, pick out the litter,
I
and
noticed a
throw the rest
certain
away because they
couple
don't
people
care about
using
the
their
outcomes.
cameras for
They
about
don't
a week or
care
two there.
about the
Too
majority
bad.
of humankind because they have what they need. And we can see them just like a black hole. We can look at the empty space and the pull of that empty space, and that's how we identify those who would undermine the well-being of the majority of humankind.
Absolute
If you're watching
fact. There's a
this,
whole lot of people out there that would just
You're
undermine
likely
everybody
not
for
one of
their
the
own
3
ideas of how terrible
billion
things are.
who lives
Don't
without
give in to
clean water,
them.
or
Who are they?
safe shelter,
That's not love. They don't even like life.
or
All you can do is
healthcare,
try to rub off on them. If they're going to be a pill or be misery,
or
that's what they're going to be.
roads.
You can't change them. That's who they are. Don't try to appease them. Don't try
Not
to play
to
into
mention
it.
all of the other things that
the toughest
most
lesson
of us
I've
in the
learned.
West, in the first world, take for granted and, in essence, fight over to keep comfort for ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And won't we fight for that
Shame, comfort.
of our
We'll
own
fight for that fucking
blindness to the
comfort all day.
con? We live in the con so much, we've just bought into it and decided that's just how it has to be if we want to be comfortable.
Mystery Sky.
And it's
You might
not
have
true.
to take it back to 0.
If we expose
Depending on how
ourselves
bad it's
to
whacked
the
out.
belief and practice of love
Depending upon what's gone
on
down.
a daily basis,
I mean, some
for
things
each
could
other,
just be
we start with equal respect for one another,
like a
not
memory
to see
log
each other for our
error,
differences,
or
because
there's
that's
a number of
just
things it could be. I don't know. You know, I'm
easy.
just talking out my ass about what things could be, but it depends on how you were attacked.
You're
or
literally
what-
giving
what
in
happened.
to the worst of our behaviors, and then most of
Some
you
things are actually
would
pretty easy
use
to fix,
Some kind
but
of faith to
make
back
sure
up
to
the
get
reason why
yourself
you're just taking
identity
the easy
protection
way
for certain
out
for a couple
to be
months at least.
a jerk
It's
to your
worthwhile.
fellow neighbor.
I have like 4
That's
layers
not being a
of
good
it.
person. That's just being tribal and mean.
Sucks, but it's
That does not
know, it
embody
helps.
love. Love. Exciting and new. Come on, people.
yeah, you know.
Look up.
We should put it on t-shirts.
What's going
and
on
it
with
should
my-
be as common
what's
and
happening with my-
useful to say,
my
I'm
collar?
trying to learn
My
to
collar
love,
looks a little off there.
as to announce a desire
I probably
to
didn't
become
even
fit
notice
or
because I put the
famous.
in-ears in.
It's no insult
Went
to
with
have
it.
to acknowledge that even though we inhabit a culture soaked in romanticism,
We do.
have problems understanding love.
Everybody wants to
And
love.
even though
But
we've
nobody
had
wants
plenty
to
of
actually
crushes
take part in
and
love because it's
plenty of
really
songs
tough.
about love, we're still taking our first steps.
Stand by, I've forgotten
towards
3
grasping
things.
What love
And I'll go grab them, but
actually
I'll still be talking because
And let me
that's
let
me
me just
on the screen.
validate what this guy has to say. Which, by the way, he is a psychologist. He's a doctor, an amazing speaker. I've seen him right up close, and it's
Oh yeah, by the way,
to watch this
School of Life, amazing folks.
because they have so many great lessons about reminding yourself that you're fantastic, that you're lovable, that you may be a weirdo, but that you can be loved, that you may be not rich, but you can be loved. You may be big, but you can be loved. You may be skinny, but you can be loved. You may be perfect looking, but you can be loved. You may be stupid, but you can be loved. You may be anything. You may be green, blue, black, purple. And I mean, like, and I said black because I was picturing actually, like, you know, the Star Trek person with the black, the multicolors things. Anyway, could be anybody. Could have antenna. To be excluded by some exceptionalism. That's mean. It's cruel. If you accept that we're no different, that even those with the pocketbook still have an ass that needs to be wiped, still have a breath that needs to be brushed. Probably teeth too. Yeah, when you're talking. Anyway, you know. Okay.
Here then are 7 key constituent ingredients of love. Charity. Love means, above anything else, benevolence and gentleness towards what is failed, disgraced, broken, unappealing, angry, and foul in other people and in ourselves. Love isn't about an admiration for strength. It's about directing sympathy in a most unexpected direction, at what is messed up, lost, and in pieces, and at what we might hate, resent, and be frightened of. Anyone.
So you get what he's saying there is he's saying that love
Wow, that's
is the thing
Oh,
you
I'm sorry
care
to hear
for.
that, Mystery Sky.
Once
I had a guy from a state that did remotely
It's
pay for every
proven
month.
itself to be worthy to you, and you care for it in its worst state, just as well as its best state.
Yeah,
And then
it's you
that's
just
the
have to
test
kind
of
of
the
hire
love
in,
that
you know,
you've
some of
built.
the online services.
Are you there in genuine humility? Are you there in
I can
genuine
suggest some.
compassion? Are you
Let me look
there
at the ones
in
I use,
genuine
'cause
empathy?
I have 2 or 3 different services actually.
Because
Multiple
oftentimes
levels.
we love
including VPN.
to take
VPNs also help.
love as an easy out. We love to blame our interpersonal relationships on love instead of
Ourselves.
lazy intent
True.
and disregard for
I
others.
like this guy. Who is he?
And selfish behaviors.
Yeah, a lot of the time,
It's
most
so
of our choices come from
obvious
really
because the
solipsistic
term
choices.
selfish
No, we don't have to.
or arrogant
Yeah, don't be
or what's the other one? Exceptionalism.
Ooh,
These things
big
are
one.
left out
When
of the
I came back
conversation.
online, everybody was talking
Just like
exceptionalism.
cooperation is left out of the
Like,
conversation.
they were the only ones who
Because
never
then you'd have
lived
to
life, and life had
acknowledge
only
it
existed,
and say
you know,
that
after
there is a
1999.
solution beyond, oh,
Cute.
he's gonna get me a bag. Oh, I gotta have 6 women because I've got more than them and everybody else suffers. Everybody playing each other's con for the sake of the fact that, well, that's the way it is. No, it's not always been this way.
No,
And
true.
It's because we stopped
Amen.
respecting one another at its base standard. Seeing that we can only deal with each other when things are okay and that people are disposable, but we're not. We're humans and we need each other.
We do. You and I need each other.
We
Every
stand
single one
together
of us,
as a
all
tribe
8 billion
when
of
it's
us.
easy to fling our poo, but when we really
Yep,
have to
I was still
stand
talking about
together.
fling and poo. That's bedazzled at this point.
Where is
Like
everybody
little
going to be?
bedazzler monkeys.
Well, at this moment, nobody's going to know where to
Those
stand.
are monkeys
because
that
nobody's
bedazzle
practiced
everything.
Any
they have
of the behaviors,
you know, frequent flyer card at Michael's.
came from humans' long-term interaction. And this is not to say monogamous relationship by any means. No, it's just about care, respect for diversity, and the allure of humanity, and the awe of all of the things that make us amazing and different from one another, despite the fact that there's 8 billion of us.
True, and if you didn't know you're amazing,
It's the
You're likely
exceptionalists. It's those
very
who
amazing.
tribalize
Just very few
and
of us that
then
aren't. And even
subjugate
them
others
just
to
haven't
a
found it yet.
limited
I was like,
set
or played off
of
all the
diversity and
shitty
belief.
stuff inside. You don't have to do that. We don't have to be
So
that.
you can believe whatever you want, but if you believe that you're the only one who's right, you got 7,999,999,999 people around
Good
you.
evening,
that
Raw Talk.
May
How are
disagree
you
with
doing?
your ass
Good to see you.
and your smell and your
It's
opinion.
been a minute. I haven't seen you since another panel, actually.
Saying it's a possibility. Don't hate on me. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
We're talking
Set
love
it
this
down
evening.
below. Don't forget
So I'm
to
sure in
like
one of
and
my
subscribe.
older
And if you like what you
upload
can see,
videos.
I've got plenty of other videos. I like screaming at the screen. I like talking to you folks, and I think that we can change the world together.
I'm sorry to hear
and that's why I
that.
share this
That-
stuff.
you know,
so
it-
it's really important
sometimes it's
that we
tough.
get together and light the fire
Because-
that is you and I taking a look up at the sky and
we
saying
want to
that
love
there's
great
more to
people, and
this.
sometimes we don't grow together. And
Then
when they
just
say, if you really
prison
love something, you got to
and
set it
soul.
free. Well, if you grow apart, yeah. Sometimes
Express
it's
an
best to
interest in
accept
perfection. To
You
love
have that moment.
is to devote an active
Take it for that
charity
and be
towards
like,
the mistakes
yep,
and aberrations.
that was awesome.
One day,
That's kinda
we
how
will
I've
all
taken it,
require
because
the charity
we
of
live in a
others.
different age.
In
Life,
one way or another, we'll
and
be
love,
on our
life is
knees,
longer.
and we will need people
Love is
to
no
look
more-
past our
is
evident
a lot more
failings
nuanced.
in a tender search for our deeply hidden merits.
So how many times in your life have you come to a spot where maybe you needed someone to help you with the tire?
It just
and
sounds
scream
like
to
I'm
help you?
screaming
Maybe
'cause
you
my
need
mic
help
is
off the side of the
incredibly
road.
loud,
Maybe you
and
need an extra
I have a
dime
little
and you were
extra
at the store and you just
saturation on
didn't
it
have the
now.
cash
Put a
at the
little
moment.
tube
maybe,
love on it.
maybe.
Thank you.
just
Yeah,
need someone
definitely.
to bring you a cup of coffee and they did.
I
Maybe
should
you need one.
scream. Because love is important, right?
There are very few people in this world. Very few people in this world. Very few people in this world.
Very few people.
Who
I said it 5 times.
truly are privileged. But the world we live in right now has a sensationalized idea that is a sad and sick delusion.
Yeah,
being sold to
transactional
them
at best. Like
so that
you
we
can
fight amongst ourselves.
pay
and
for
stop
love like a
relying
Ferrari.
on each other and having a reason to rely on each other as a group, as a society, so that you and I will go to
Oh,
fisticuffs
no problem. At Mystery Sky, I
And
will
not
definitely
love.
do that.
and share.
If you don't see
and
me in the next couple
encapsulate
days,
what's great about humanity. Because
make
I
sure
know
to
you
remind me
do.
in Easy's chat.
I know that you're
but
special.
yeah, I will definitely do that.
Because we're all special, which makes
Happy
us
to
all
help
normal.
in any way. That's easy stuff.
And
I'd have to
wanna
look at
point
my
something out,
emails and stuff to see which services
that
I.
if everybody's
I have.
special than nobody.
So I have
That's
one
why
through my
I
tax
like to
service,
say
another one
we're
that
all
I paid for
wonderfully
years
normal.
ago, one of those
Diversity
stupid
is
ones,
wonderfully normal.
and the
That it
VP.
doesn't matter how much money you have. There's somebody out there who's probably smarter than you, a bigger dick than you, tighter vagina, bigger set of boobs. a prettier
True,
face,
all that is
a
true.
better set of
Somebody's got
teeth,
some other enlargement that you don't
a
have.
fancier mustache.
But so
a
what?
better curl
Maybe
of
you
hair,
use yours better.
a nicer set of skin, a better way of fitting clothing.
True.
Every single human on this planet has something that in most cases most never get to find because the whole of our world is hell-bent on taking away the privilege of that experience of loving the self.
And individuality. I mean, I'm not
And
saying
I'm
it's all about
angry about
individuality.
that.
I'm not Ayn
Because
Rand over
love
here.
is simpler, just like a smile.
I'm a unilateralism when it comes to that. Like,
It's
everybody should be part of it, right?
more muscles to grimace than it does to smile.
Yeah, I mean, that's that
People
old trope.
love
And
to
it's true.
grimace at one another for any reason they can come up with just to show how mean they are. Well, I propose to you that we should start a belief to come up with reasons to be loving
Oh, yeah.
and
What's
smiling
up, Queen?
and caring with one
How you
another.
feeling?
We tried to do that in the 70s. but it got
Yes,
smashed
I am
down
definitely
by the
going with
anger
the psychedelic
police
vibe
of
and
the late
love.
80s, who we would now call the alt-right.
This
They're
is
the
early
ones who didn't
before
want
I
music
actually
to
have the green
sexual
screen all
lyrics.
set up
and
right.
now they want
It's
everybody
funny.
to be monogamous and for the entitled few to just corral the majority. Because that's just how it is. They have the money. So if you don't have the money to take care of yourself and other people, well, and you're screwed.
Embrace your silly.
Better
Sometimes
get
it's
up
better
those
that way.
standards.
True. You know, I mean, in
Sounds
my
like
case.
bootstrapping. Sounds like that alt-right finally found a message that struck with a whole group of people.
Yeah, be lonely and,
And
then
then
be
on
angry.
top of it, you coalesce all of the folks that were using those pickup artist books. Rollo Tomasi,
Yeah.
the guy from the
Pickup
late night
artist.
pickup artist books.
Why does no one remember that?
Anybody who's older than 40 remembers
No,
that?
it's the
He was
Mandela
on-
effect. I
He
swear
was
now.
on TV.
Fucking Mandela effect.
Now
Fucking
they're the
everything.
Bible of that stuff. We used to laugh about it. He sold mugs. I think my brother actually bought my brother. Anyway, love is so much better for us. It's healthier, and it's easier to share, and it's easy to care. So we need to deprogram from all of the mean, careless, insensitive. That's not being woke. That's being a decent freaking human.
See ya!
What? So don't get it twisted, folks. Because people have you throw your bedazzled poopy at one another and say, oh, no, you gotta do that. Because if you don't, you're not special. Well, if
True.
everybody's throwing their bedazzled poopy, it's, you know. That's why I say we're all normal. It's about being the best you can be in your normalcy. All right? You get that? It's about being the best you could be. You and I.
Me, come on,
in our
jackass.
normalcy. Okay?
Let's go.
might wanna
Hopefully
fight
you've
with me
eaten
about
something
it. It's never gonna take that away from reality.
before you float, because you don't want to
Wanna
just
fight
float
about
away
it
empty
because
stomach.
you want it to be something that it's not.
Have
Something
you
that's
seen
being
Charlie the
forced on
Chocolate,
us
Chocolate
all.
Factory? You know.
When all we gotta do is just step back from it and not take part. And that's part of this game. Oh, well, how do you not
Burp,
take part?
man, burp.
You follow through by caring about others, by picking people up, by calling out those who don't want to take part and saying, look, you don't have to love, but I care about other people and I'll take up where you, because you left off, because the real wealth is love.
And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about
hear it again, the
care. I'm
real
talking about
wealth is
intimacy. I'm
love.
talking about interest and care. And not being a careless
The
fool.
love you take is equal to the love you make.
Yeah, say it again. It's not even Aaron After
And
Dark.
that, like many things said by Buddhas,
Thank you, Mystery
is
Sky. I
insightful to
appreciate
the
you being
truth
here.
about when
By the
you're
way,
on your
folks,
deathbed.
the call-in line is
The
open. If you have a
majority of
story,
people in this
you want
world
to hear
wish they
another
had
voice,
loved more, and
you wanna talk
sexed
about
more,
something?
and eaten more, and
You wanna
seen
just,
more,
you
and
know,
cared
chat
for
about
others
it.
more.
talk about the philosophy.
So if you're
Yell
busy
at
being
me.
a jerk because you think it's awesome,
Tell me red pill is the only
it
way.
gives you power,
Tell me the
Guess
plaid
what?
pill is absolutely the
Love
surest way to love.
is coming for you, and it's gonna steamroll you and wipe you out.
I love it. Yeah, no sweat.
And love.
All good. I know you're on the other side of the planet.
Understanding. And you
I'm
might
kinda
say,
taking,
well, I have M16s, Aaron.
My schedule off the schedule.
Love has reality.
That's what building a house will do.
Owns reality.
But I got you. Anytime. I'm probably going to still be rolling when you wake
I
up.
want you all to remember that. Because life is sentience, and sentience.
And if not, Queen, you need to call in, if I can ask you to Resto Chesto.
If we didn't, at its root, love, the experience.
The experience.
Imagination.
Yes!
To love with imagination is to look beneath the surface, where there may be rage, cynicism, brittleness, or transgression, and to picture the suffering and pain that got a person to this place. To love with imagination is to fill in the better reasons why others are behaving as they are. Imaginative love knows that we are all somewhere desperate. It seeks out that desperation and treats it with sorrowful gentleness.
So you see what he's understanding? See what he's saying there? He's saying you don't have to treat people with disregard when they're having a problem. See them for the benefit of the doubt for that problem. Give them the sense that human nature is troublesome, imperfect, and messy. And it's important to stretch this olive branch to others if you wish for that to be reciprocated, handed back to you from others. In other words, if you just crap on somebody constantly and expect them to love you, which many will out of a psychosis, otherwise known as
Resto
Stockholm syndrome,
Chesto. It's a channel.
beaten partner
It's a
syndrome.
person. It's an
Sure.
awesome human
People
being.
will do that out of pressure.
And he does
if they
something that would
are stuck
complement your
and
world
they need
wonderfully, Queen. And it's two words, Resto and Chesto. And you
But
spelled it
really,
correctly. He's a great,
wasting our
great
time.
person. And I think he's got the same kind of
There's
vibe and idea
better
that we do,
ways.
where there needs
There's
to be
easier
in
ways.
some kind of respite.
If you want
something-
lazy, it's
some kind of
easier to
alternate,
care.
something
Takes
different.
less energy to put up all the that show, the
He
peacock.
normally does a thing in the morning.
Everything else.
Resto FM.
When all you got to do is give a damn. Show up. Be good. Be kind.
He's more on your
and
time zone.
reciprocate what you would wish
Closer
for
to it, at
yourself.
least.
For others first.
Kindness. There are so many fighters for social justice, so many people determined to make a better world. They denounce their enemies and feel certain of their cause, but along the way, they have a fateful habit of forgetting.
I'm waving at the
to be
chat
kind.
before I would put it up.
In their
Mystery chat.
denunciations of the evils of others.
I'm guilty of this. I absolutely am guilty of this. I try to be
I'm
kind,
guilty of a bunch
but
of
I
shit.
was
Come
starting
on.
to see these
Nobody's
people
perfect.
as less than human.
That's part of the
Pictures
thing
on
is
the other side of the screen. I think it's easy to do when you're screaming at the camera.
true.
But I want you
Most
all to
of the
remember
sales
when
points
watching
now
these things, that
say you
people
gotta
on
be
the other
perfect.
side, they're people. They're skin and bone. They're just
My pleasure.
those people who in life don't
Yeah,
have
the
this
info
voice.
says
So
you gotta
we
be
turned on the
perfect.
camera and
to get
you
love.
took the time to watch it. Thank you.
I'd
Like
challenge
and
that.
subscribe. Like and subscribe.
What is perfect?
And what's more
what
important
is-
about all that is that each and every one
Better
of these people
than imperfection.
believes
because
in their heart
That means somebody's gonna grow.
whatever they're selling.
Don't you want to be with somebody that's gonna grow
whatever
with
agenda
you?
they're pushing,
Have
whatever
things to
underlying
gain
meaning they have,
and
whatever
learn?
stories they tell.
Yeah, he's a wonderful
If they're
person.
on YouTube, they're spending their life telling you their story. And that's the thing to remember. So I have to extend this olive branch myself.
And if you're not familiar, by the way, hey, Queen, put your channel in the chat if you wouldn't mind.
Others.
Queen is a great alternative to most other channels.
At the same time,
she has
I will stand on
a
the
couple
hill
different channels.
and
But
battle at the front line.
the one I'm thinking of is the Soul
To
Recharge.
those who will stand in the
and
way
that is
of
a true
egalitarian
statement
love,
of what it is.
non-tyrannical love,
8 to 9
meet me
hours
face
of
to
just
face.
beautiful
I'm telling you now.
sunsets and beaches
'Cause
and
you and I-
underwater views.
We're gonna light a forest fire.
And 0.001% of the time, you might see something unusual.
All through the world. Why? Because love requires us to step out of ourselves, have some empathy.
True.
And
Love requires empathy, right? The care for each other requires that we put ourselves in others' shoes.
our own self.
That's a
There's
caffeinated
precious
drink
little
being cracked,
mercy,
by the way.
humility, tenderness, or grace. It's not enough to be right or just. To be kind is to know that everyone, even sinners, and in a way especially sinners, deserve ongoing sympathy and mercy. It's never simply because someone is wrong that we have any right to cease showing them the greatest kindness. Forgiveness. To forgive is to know that we are, in our own way, as guilty as the next person. Given what we all are, we have no option but to cut each other some slack. Of course, we failed and been hasty.
Give a
less than
motherfucker some
admirable,
slack.
But that's no reason forever
on,
to withhold
y'all.
love. We learn to forgive when we are no longer self-righteous. That is, when we're brave enough
Yeah,
to
most
fathom
people
the
that don't
darker
forgive
sections of our own hearts.
Think that
So
their shit don't
this
stink.
is what leads me to talking about exceptionalism, because when we all fight for a spot in exceptionalism, we don't fight to the top. We fight by making a hole, and we dig that hole.
That's awesome.
And
Thank
the
you.
one left in the bottom of the hole is the one who wins that battle. To be the only one, to be the best of the best of the best. Well, if you're not going anywhere, you're not caring, you're not including anybody. You're just seeing the darkest and excluding
Mystery
all
Sky, I'm so glad
with
you've
exceptionalism.
been able to glean something.
You're not spreading the commonalities and seeing the commonalities and enjoying the commonalities.
It's nice to
or
know
even
that there's
admitting
something to
in
be taken.
oneself the commonalities.
I do my best.
And in doing
It's
so,
hard to
you end up
tell
giving
what
others slack
sometimes people
to
can take
be
or-
imperfect,
You know, what is just applicable to me.
because you yourself,
Because I can only
you
share
might
my
not be
point of view.
perfect as well. And
When
for
I
those
get
times
someone
that
else's,
maybe
I'll
right
tell
now
you.
you're
I'll try to
on the
return it
up,
though. It's probably
maybe
been in the
your
lost and
partner's on
found.
the down.
So, you know.
Cut them some slack. That's what love is. Understanding that there's cycles. And maybe they get down for a while. Guess what? Caring about that person, that's what makes you a kind human, because kindness is something you'd want extended to yourself. And it can be hard. But most of the time, when
That's
people
terribly tough
really
sometimes.
truly look at their situation,
We got to get over our
from
own
another perspective.
trepidations, our
They
own, you know,
always tend
sense
to
of
admit
self.
that there were other things they could have done.
Because
and chose
oftentimes
not to.
people are going through
Because
things
it
we
just
could never
seemed
understand because we didn't
to achieve.
live their life. Not every moment.
And there
of
was
it.
an
We don't
easier
know
way
what's
out.
going on.
Guess what?
We just get what we see when we're in front of
The
them.
tough
or
roads
when they're
are the
on and in
ones
front of
that
our
pay
screen,
off
or when we're in a
in
chat,
the long run.
or in an email.
They give the most reward because they
How
bring
much
the most
of that
experience and they give the
response
most
when we don't see
forgiveness
people
and the most breadth and width to allow you
is us.
to be you and those around you to be them.
Loyalty. To love means being loyal to people. This could be
Boy,
ourselves.
isn't
Even though
that the
crowd
toughest thing
no
nowadays?
longer agrees. Outside,
Loyalty.
the mob may be jeering.
Staying true to
we
one
continue
another
on the
just for
same
the sake
side with
that you know
steadfastness and
someone's going to have your
unbudgeable
best interest, not
resilience.
because you have to, but
Generosity.
because
I'd like
you
to talk
want
about
to.
this because I think loyalty is also something else that we seem to have forgotten in this day and age. that we are supposed to rely on one another. So if you're just fickle, if you're just as interested in another human as a pair of shoes, well, then you're really the issue in the situation. If you expect
now, mind you, if they're SB art shoes,
you in the first place, you're probably
with a big tongue and a dope color set that nobody else has.
With.
You know, that might be true love. I don't know. At least for me, it is.
From a vulnerable spot.
How about you?
That's the biggest growth that most
Call in
people
and let me
are
know.
afraid to allow because of their own arrogance or selfishness.
Selfishness is
And once we admit to our selfishness, we can break those standards.
Fuck them up
As
altogether.
long as we want to. But no,
Yeah!
that
And it goes
selfishness
hardcore.
breeds loneliness. Because nobody wants to be around someone who's lonely and selfish.
No, nobody wants to be around some selfish ass motherfucker. You know what I'm
Someone
saying?
will be around somebody who's lonely and sharing and caring. But nobody wants to be around a selfish, arrogant, and lonely person. And that goes for both gender.
All
For
gender.
any background. For whatever you
I was still
identify
learning.
as.
Wasn't that long ago, too. All gender, whatever it is.
Arrogance?
You want to be a
Let's
peacock?
say
I
this
really
together.
don't give a damn.
It has nothing to do with love.
Just so long as you
And
plume
it's
one's here
ugly.
and
It
leave
used
me
to
some
be
things to
just
make a fan
an
out of.
ugly
I'm fine.
trait. It's
Come on.
one of the 7 sins. Selfishness? It's what
One of the
degrades
savages.
relationships.
I'm so unreligious. It's funny. By the way, the call-in line is open.
Love overflows. It isn't about loving
Love
just one
overflows.
person. It encompasses the love of
Does it
someone you've
overflow
just
from
met,
you?
of strangers in another
And you
land,
just haven't
of the
found
earth,
it?
of plants, weevils, housebats, and that moth by the window who might be.
So I've often amazed
There's a
people
tap
with my
within all of us.
bee wrangling. And that's because I love all things. Truly.
I do
I
too.
seem to
Oh, that's
act
me.
a retrospective way, in a retrospective way, find love for even those who have done me harm or wrong. And it's one of my worst tendencies because I can see the values of love. I make realistic boundaries, of course, just recognize who they were and what they did. But
Way too
I
late.
also
Oftentimes, way too late.
recognize all things as a part of me.
Yeah.
As
It's true.
a contiguous section of reality
Meaning,
that is
you know, it's
connected
part
to
of
me
what I've
by
done
protons
or
and
what I've been through
neutrons.
or who I've decided to be with. I
Now,
take my
don't wanna
part
get
and roll.
deep into quantum
I mean, I'm not
physics, but I can
perfect.
just
I've
tell you
fucked up a
this,
bunch.
that we know
I've also done a lot
that we're all connected.
of heartfelt good for others.
You can argue all you like about how
And by
that
fucking
is,
up, I mean like sometimes you just fuck up.
and
You'll
that being
respond
so,
or react or
I
have
love
emotional state. Not
life.
terrible things, but you know
I
what?
love
It's just life. Life
those who share it
happens.
with
The
me. I
older you get,
love
the
the
more
bees
shit happens, and
and
the
the
more you
birds
allow
and
yourself to
animals. So if you
experience.
ever see me out there talking to them, don't think I'm weird. They
The
like
more
to listen.
likely you are to have a fuck
They'll
up.
come over and check me out. The birds love me. Because if you acknowledge them, by the way, crows love this.
And that's a
You
good
acknowledge
thing,
the
actually.
birds, they acknowledge you. The same with bees.
Because
They're just
imagine
flying, tiny flying
if in
dogs,
fact-
by the way. Don't be afraid of them. Unless you're allergic, then just don't move too hard.
you never fucked up.
They're just as freaked out as you are. They apologize, by the way, when they sting you, because they also
Then
pass
there'd
away.
never be a comparison.
But they apologize while they're passing away. Think about that. Bees love
Think
so
about it.
much because they're so true.
Never be a
As
comparison.
part of the hive, the single mind hive, that
Just
they
be
apologize as they
That's why
die.
perfection doesn't exist, because life is a challenge from the moment
Love.
you're born
It's
to the
for
moment
everyone.
you die.
It's not for just some.
Life is challenging
It's
you
about
to live.
a
And
manufactured
the most important portion of it, the most important agreement,
pressed upon us.
the most
Don't
base
believe the
feeling
hype,
that
children.
we all
Come with Uncle Aaron.
is love.
Dead by nightfall. Patience.
You've been
We
witnessing
want
the
others to meet
longest
our hopes
intro
right now.
on YouTube.
But true love means giving people the time to
I've just
mature
given
and
you
develop, to go wrong,
the full
to
tilt.
wander in another direction, and not to shout at them, but to give them every chance
Burnt
to grow.
umber
at their own-
spheres.
So in other words, you can't
We
build a
went
partner.
way past.
They build themselves, and you choose people
The
for the
azure sphere.
qualities that you think you can
And the
grow with.
roosphere.
So when you try to pick someone who's already
We just
finished,
bypassed them all.
you're undermining your
No,
own
we went to
best interests. When you try to choose somebody who's got everything that you could possibly want, why would they need you?
You know why?
Much less, why would they be a good partner with you when there's nowhere
Because
to
love
grow?
is an explosive expression
no
of
equity
ourselves
amongst
as
you.
a species, and it
There's
is
no
more
patience
than
proven
just
for reciprocal
one feeling.
value. In other words, there's
Because that feeling,
there's no actual higher
that
value because there's
that
no
idea
time spent
comes from the same
to
place
prove
that
your
addiction
loyalty and
and
generosity and
and longing
earnestness,
and hope and suffering.
reliability.
Every
Pace
emotion we've ever
towards their better
felt
selves.
comes
We're
from
so
the same
used to ordering
little
things online.
area.
We think that love also works that way.
In
That
front
you
of
just
our
press a
medulla
button and then
oblongata.
bim bam boom.
Just the little
Everything works
gland.
out and it's the way you want it to be. So you don't have to put in effort on a daily basis. But if you talk to any
And that
quality,
pain.
long-term relationship,
And that
they'll tell
suffering
you
and
it's
that
work
hope
with
and
its
that
ups
joy
and downs and boring
and that
times. And if you
overwhelming
talk to
sense
most
of happiness
long-term relationships,
we
they're
call
boring.
love.
And that's what makes them interesting. and
Unifies us
wonderful.
all
And
as a
long
species
term is because people
with
give unto one another reciprocity.
reality.
If we can believe wholeheartedly in some of the above, it won't matter who we vote for or what our cause is. We can count as part of what is helping. We should be
Yes,
almost
Mystery
done
Sky,
with
we can only
romantic love
imagine and
by
be
now.
empathetic.
We should be
We
setting
can
our
never
sights on
know
a
what
challenge
other
of
people
this
think.
sort of love.
We are not
But
psychics.
it's not surprising if
There
we're
may
still
be some.
only at the beginning. We're just
But they are
starting
rare.
the path to being human.
So before that,
In the end,
all
by the
we
way,
can do
school life
is give the
does
benefit
have
of a
books
doubt.
and does have a retail. So
For
make
others we
sure
care
to go
for.
check them out, like and subscribe them,
First.
and check out their many videos
Because
of all
most
different types
people-
of
most
issues
people
in life, from
wanna do right
depression
by
to lack of
others.
sleep to
Don't let the hype fool
coordinating
you.
yourself and
Don't eat
setting
that
up
red
good
pill.
patterns in
Don't
your
forget,
behaviors,
the
dealing with
Matrix
others,
isn't
employee
real.
dealings,
It's
all
a
sorts of
computer
stuff, because
program.
They basically teach
And if
CEOs
you want to
of
talk about the
500
holographic universe
companies
and love, we can
how to
talk
be
about that too.
better people.
I can
essentially.
talk about that at
Because they
length.
find
But
that a lot of them are missing the skills of basic
One of the
human.
things that's important.
And so
to
this
know
today,
is
my
that
friends, is
the
what I wanted to
salesmanship
share
of
with you
online
about
love programs for
A little less of me screaming,
$4.99 for
probably
5
just about as
hours
much, right? Yeah.
of us
Anyway.
schooling will not give you love
It's really
or how
special
to love
to
or
have
who to love
a world
or if you love.
we can rely on
or
one another
love of
instead of
self.
wondering whether or not there's an enemy next
There's
door.
only
When
one
in reality,
person who
that
can give
idea
you
of wondering whether or not there's an
anything.
enemy next door is in
that's
itself
you.
the con, making
You.
the majority of people who should just love
Just
one another
you.
and care and take care of one another equally and not see the difference and see that if you prick us, we all bleed the same colors. We all have the same shaped heart. We all have the same kind of skin, even if it may come in different shapes and colors and variations of taste. Love is to be shared. It's not a bag. It's not a bank account. And if it is a bank account, it's being robbed from the majority of us by a few funneling for a bad idea. And so I give you the answer. To share like your life depends on it, because it does.
Yeah, because this life is going to kill you.
Don't forget
One
to
way or
like
the other.
subscribe.
It's trying every
Well,
day.
Treat you
The longer you go,
kindness.
the more likely life is just going to kill you. Just off
My
you.
friends, together, we should all
Think
look
about
up.
that.
I've been asked by the FBI, I've been asked by the police to help with the FBI.
Oh, yeah. to get at it. You guys have been tempted enough. I'm doing something very different. This is Stream of Consciousness talk tonight. I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna talk about love at length from my own heart, from my own experiences, from my own points of views, and what I've learned philosophically and in reality, and what I've seen others go through. I'm gonna just talk and talk and talk until you shut me off or whatever happens. But the call in line for your stories, your experiences, and anything in between is wide open. Let's talk about what's going down. Do you need to share? Do you just want to share? Do you have an experience? Do you want to show the audience at large that you've got something to talk about when it comes to love and the experiences with love in life and how we can all do better or, find something new? Feel free to call in. The line is there for you. Thank you so much. And yes, don't forget to hit the like button. It's free. Gets me on the algorithm. And I do appreciate when you do hit it. Also, if you haven't subscribed, which I'm actually proud to say that most of my viewers are subscribers, because they're also Mod Squad! Mod Squad! Come on! Yeah, showing love all the time. And, support artists. Support art. Support things that go bump in the night. Whatever their name is, and wherever they are, and however loud they're howling. Let them in. It's cold outside. No, don't actually. Just let them stare through the window. If they're howling, you don't want them inside. Yeah. I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm talking about whatever the hell I feel like talking about. But tonight's focus is love. Do you have a story? Have you been somewhere? Have you been to the depths of hell in your heart? Have you been to the heights of heaven in your soul? Share it. Let's learn something from it. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about your 25-year relationship that failed. I want to hear about your grandparents that lived to be 103 and they were married from the time they were 14 or something crazy. I want to hear it all. That's what it's about here. And when I say support arts, I also mean support each other. We are art, every one of us. Our parents decided to make some art to make us, right? That's the way it seems to me. In most cases, I would hope. Mystery Sky says that they can tell you people have shown them because they're not as smart and they don't use the words in a way that people would like them to. Oh, and they're German, Deutsche. So I don't talk to text a lot. So we'll not put dots and stuff to correct. I understand. So lots of times I'm overlooked or I'm being shunned away, made fun of because of that. Oh, I apologize. No, you shouldn't be shunned for that. You're trying where others simply do not. That's you being courageous. That's you being capable. That's you being artful. That's you doing something they can't do. You speak multiple languages and they do not. Bitteschön, by the way. And thank you for being here. And fuck the haters. They can just fuck off with that hate. There's enough of that in that little group that wants to hate themselves enough and bring everybody else with them so that they can feel enabled. Right on down the pit. Yeah, German is a rough language. It's so tough. I tried learning it for several years. You know what's funny? I did better in Moscow over 3 months. Learning my 23 words of Russian than I have like any German. And how many times have I been traveling through Germany? I've done extreme tours of Germany. Yeah, German is a tough language, not gonna lie. I was learning, and it's funny because I actually was learning. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know which language it would be considered. It's not Dutch. Oh yeah, it would be Dutch, which has a lot of English in it. Strangely enough, I spent some time on a tour with a Dutch artist, and I started understanding them because they were all speaking Dutch. So it's just inundation. Inundation is great, by the way. So you're doing a thing that most Americans do not do, and if people are making fun of you for any of your lingo, they can just write the fuck off, piss off, whatever you call it, Eat a big schnitzel. That's all I'm saying. Because they're not even trying. And there's a lot of trolls out there. That's their entire game. They have nothing going on, so the only thing they've ever learned in their life is how to disguise their disgust of self with hate of others, so they project it out. And I often reach out to them because they need a friend. That's why the moniker, the ethos of this channel is that this is the home of the awkward, friend of the friendless. And I believe in you because I do. Every single one of you, even the misfits, even the wild people, even the folks who have failed all those social norms, and the certain few who they just seem determined to take everybody with them into some hell-like state that is not love. Right the fuck off with that, because I'll tell you what, the masters of the Far East, they said that love is the agreement. And what was described in those books was ancient men, and I believe a woman, but I'm not sure because they don't describe gender, turning cups of water into ice with their look and a smile, teleporting themselves from one place to another with proof. Now, there's no film of this because the books were written in the 1890s. But much of what those in the books, or those who wrote the book, describe are in earnest, and for the time period, almost scientific. The point being is that over and over again, these people respond to the same statement that the only way these abilities to go on and on and on, to teleport, to change water to ice with your smile and thought, to live forever, takes one agreement. And it's not a mysterious, magical thing. That agreement is love. Not your everyday Ashley. Thank you for coming on in. I'm so glad you could join us here this evening. This might be just your vibe. We're talking about love, and there is an open call-in. So at any time when you're really feeling breathy or you just want to share, first take a breath. Count to 10, maybe backwards. And come on in. The stream is fun. If you don't know, Not Your Everyday Ashley has a fantastic, wonderful panel channel that challenges you. And I love it. I do enjoy it. It's a little unhinged sometimes, and it's kind of fantastic. And she also shares other things. And yeah, this might be for you. Oh no, that's exactly what we do here. Space cadettery. We embrace and enjoy what is love this evening. And love is the agreement of all things. It is the capacity to be in touch with the actual background noise that is, and I put the period there. Now, I want to ask you, Ashley, are you familiar with a thing or a person named Joe Frank. Oh, sure. Absolutely. And enjoy wherever you're going. May you walk lightly and yet not step too harshly. I'm going to actually change the page now that I've heard that somebody's actually eaten some of our friends. And I'm going to take us to the Josie Kittens channel because the background definitely needs one of these new videos that she's just put up. Let's say, oh, yes. This is one of my favorite things because this is actually quantifiable. This is quantifiable. This isn't accidental. This is an imagery set from a whole valance of a reported input across the spectrum of psychedelic usage. And I would say that if you're not familiar with what that is, that's okay. Do you really need to be? Is it that important? Because what most psychedelics do are to allow you to see altered states of consciousness, not unlike a dream state or maybe an imagined place. And I urge you to think about it as imagined as well, because sometimes that imagined place is real, and maybe it's real right next to us, or maybe it's coming to being because we expected it to, or maybe it's something that has always been with us, and we brought it into physical reality just by mentioning it once. I'm going to challenge you to say that that is an extension of love. It's not just an extension of love, it's an extension of the being of the universe. It's an extension of what you and I are made of, literally, figuratively, and, well, metaphorically. Michael Schwartz, so good to see you. Give me 1 second. Let me start the show and then I'll have you on up, because I'd love to hear your story about love. So give it a second and think it on through. Let me bring us on to the next image, because I think it's important that you remember quantifiably true imagery from the views of thousands of participants in a psychological study. And if you don't know the joke that I'm using when I repeatedly qualify my terminology by saying this is quantifiably what a psychedelic image or the experience when you're very much blown out on psychedelics would look like. Altered states of consciousness are not specifically relegated to just those caused by drugs. No, my friends, they are built into us because we are in touch with reality itself, and reality itself is a phasic, multi-temporal event of Paisley fractalin proportions that can only be understood if you allow yourself to. Otherwise, really, what are we living in but our own holographic reflection that forms based off the will and interests of those who view and manifest every single moment in this oneness together. You know what I'm saying? We are all part of something that agrees to be. And that's why I'm AronMSound, and this is the show known as Lookup, the Remix, where I interject myself into a conversation that most people do not expect, don't want, and have no clue what the hell I'm talking about, and by way of which we take that conversation somewhere most people don't ever expect it to go. And hopefully, you'll glean something from it. Tonight, our focus is on love. I'm not going to share any videos. This is about talking. This is about telling a story, and I'm taking you down a new path. I think I've practiced enough at sharing my thoughts that I can go on now. I think I can move on to the next phase of what we're about to do. And I want to welcome everybody on in. We are going to break into an experience that is not just limited to the conversation, but rather a story that you are involved in. Your love, your light, your experiences in life. They are a rhythm, they are a music, they are a timing, they are a story. And they're yours, and they're there for you to learn from. And if you like, I think everybody else would learn from them as well. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing my hot tub repairman shirt. I'm actually wearing short sleeves. Unusual, I know. You can call me slick, because I fucking am. But that's called mojo. Most of y'all don't know what mojo is, and y'all are using the term riz, and that's okay, but that's the drip off the bucket of mojo. So, let's go! The topic is love. The ideas are many, because love comes in many shades, forms, fashions, and love can be interpreted, as I said, as the fabric in the background. Let's call it the Akashic record, that no matter what, everything is a confluence. Everything is a connection. All particles being equal. That layer upon layer of the holographic universe is built upon the love, and I challenge you to believe this, whether you like it or not, is built upon the love that experience in sentience, that means just experience of awareness, is why the universe is plural, multiplied in the trillions upon trillions, if not unlimited so, repeating, never ending, are our attempt to love eternal for a greater cause, to make a better love. Why? Because love is fucking awesome, right? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. Now, it seems simplified, right? Because it kind of is. The math is simple. If you enjoy the experience, the good and the bad, the shitty, the fact that it is temporal, the fact that it is possible for it to end at any time, that we're supposed to be taking every minute by the fucking balls, labia, and or whatever you got. Smooth surface, it doesn't matter. Grab it. Take it. Move it on. Because this is the one. There's nothing, expect that there's nothing later. I don't want to take away from you if you believe in an afterlife. That's fine. It might be. In fact, I would gather that because it's holographic in nature, and we can talk about that separately, but essentially what we know and what we describe as holographic is what the nature of the universe is. It's a coalescing of waves that are crashing upon one another, and that crashing upon one another makes the reality form, just like the images you see crashing upon one another in the background. Now, you might not relate this to love. You might think I'm talking hoo-ha, but I can assure you that the one piece of magic there is amongst all the planes is the ability to agree that this is made because we don't want it to end. I mean, that's all the theology out there, right? All right, let's get at it. Let me bring on our first guest. You know them as the Michaels. This is actually a Schwartz. If you wouldn't mind, just popping your camera on backstage so I can confirm which one of you it is. You don't need your camera on for, oh, you probably walked away. Hey, Schwartz. Yeah, the Schwartz is with you. Schwartz, if you could pop your camera on backstage just for a brief moment, just so I can see which one of it is, so I can address you properly. Plus, there's a German conversation going on in chat, which is even weirder and more awesome. Please carry on with the German. You know, my grandfather was born in Poland, in a shtetl. A tiny shtetl that I'm told didn't exist, but I know for a fact it did. Now, this shtetl was also the focus of... I forgot the camera's on. I'm tiny. I'm sorry. I'm like looking at the microphone. I'm like, where am I looking? Schwartz! The Schwartz is with you. Can you hear me, Schwartz? Put your camera on for but a brief moment so I can see your lovely faces. Both of them. Or one of them, whichever you have. Ambreen Jet! What up? Welcome on in. We're talking about love. We're looking to talk and share, and tonight is something totally different. Didn't know if you were aware. I am going down a different kind of route. Oh, you might be having. Hey, Michael, cool, you're good. Yes, I know, you're good. Yeah, beautiful, you're good. Schwartz, I got the Schwartzes with you. You can turn it off if you want. No, that's yeah, you're chewing. You're good. Don't make me turn your camera off. I know, I love you, kid. You're fucking but you're gonna get nasal hairs. I'm gonna tell you. I can tell you from your dad. Anyways. Yeah. So what? Let me make sure. Let's test the audio here.
How's it going?
Good. What's the good word? Ambry. By the way, we're on Ambry
Aaron,
chat.
you're echoing, man. I think you're watching your stream back. I hear you twice.
Oh yeah, you probably are. You know what? Let me do this. Hold on a second, because you'll be able to hear me the other way. You'll be able to hear me this way, right?
Confusing me.
I am confusing, but that's okay. How about this? Can you hear me now? Or is it totally delayed and I just went?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. No, good deal. Thanks for helping me work the tech out. By the way, so Michael Schwartz is with you. Yeah. How you feeling? So you got a story about love for us tonight? Because you sound like you're loving those chips. Yeah.
What kind of love we talking? We talking about chemical love or like sex love?
Hey man, you tell me. It's your choice. The gamble is yours. I'm gonna roll the dice. Boom! It says Michael Schwartz's choice. Did you see that? I used the real ones.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What about the other Michael Schwartz? We fell in love pretty hard.
I know. I heard that, and that was a good story. You guys went at it like a pair of young canoodlers. I'd say, actually.
Well, we're lovers now, so I can go ahead and retell the story.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
So.
Yeah. Where did it start?
One day,
yeah,
come across Mr. AronM's stream.
That's me.
To give him some knowledge.
Yeah. Well, but hey, describe that, by the way. Why you would give me knowledge? Because I don't think everybody knows, or not clear on it. And not everybody.
I think I'm right and you're wrong.
Yes, that's what.
I like you and all, but I think I'm always right.
Yeah.
Well,
you're the thinker.
I know I'm always right.
You're the thinker.
I'm the thinker.
You are. So.
Therefore, nobody else is right. So, I come in to spew some knowledge.
Yeah.
As Michael Schwartz, the thinker, of course. Then some phony baloney loser comes in. At least I think so. Named Michael Schwartz.
Yeah.
He comes into the Discord and he starts spewing some nonsense about how he's the real Michael Schwartz and not me. Alright? Which is just not true. So obviously, I debate him, and it goes on for a while. He starts saying all this nonsense. Oh, I'm the real Michael Schwartz. Nuh-uh, it's me, the thinker.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I never got it because we never had a one-on-one. Before you go on, we never had a one-on-one about this. I mean, so what? When you were challenged, and they were taking you on pretty hard, I'm gonna tell you, they were pounding into you. What were you thinking?
Oh, he sure was at some point.
Yeah. But I mean, it's double.
I
They
was-
took
I
a
was-
double on. They doubled down.
I was furious.
Yeah.
I was furious at the time. You know, because of course I'm the real Michael Schwartz, Michael S. You know.
This is what you claim, and I
Just
understand.
doesn't make sense to me how he could do something like that. The one and only. But we did think it was quite a redundant argument.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, it wasn't
And
redundant, but hold on
we
wait
both-
a second. Hold your thought. Ladies and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, cross-eyed mosquitoes and bullock and ants stand before you, sit beside you. Tell you something. Well, I don't know what we're talking about tonight, other than love. Ladies and gentlemen, Lita Capretta! Yeah, I gave it extra on that one. All right.
God damn.
Yeah, you know, she's my co-host,
Jeez.
colleagues, most officially and unofficially.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talked
I'm
a
sorry.
little bit off stream. You know, made up, made out.
Yeah. How did I mean, because
Yeah,
that's
no.
a quick jump. You made up, and what were the terms of the makeup? Because that would suggest that somehow you guys came to a agreement that one of you or both of you were the Michael.
Well, the term was to agree to disagree,
Okay.
and we made up, made out. It does come up as an issue every once in a while, but that's okay.
Well, are you calling
That's
each other's
okay.
name
It happens.
as Michael? Are you just calling each other Michael? Is that what it is now?
No, we call each other Michael
okay.
because we both like to be referred to as such.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, Aaron. I believe I was supposed to get mod this week. You promised it.
You did. I haven't seen you in chat yet. Are you in chat right now?
I am. I'm gonna type hello there. You ready?
Yeah. No, are you ready? That's the real question. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shit. There, it was quick. Somebody. Hobos and tramps, crossing mosquitoes and bullock and ants stand before you. Sit beside you.
Oh.
I just want to. Oh, yeah, you don't have to bow down. I see you bow down. Dude, you don't have to bow down. That's fine. It's fine. You stand up. I mean, if you want, you can bow, but you got to turn around and face me. I'm sorry. I'm hovering above you now. Ladies and gentlemen. Adding as a standard mod. He's been waiting for a minute. I made him wait for a minute. The original thinker,
Hi.
Michael Schwartz.
All right.
Ian, welcome on. I'll only say that once because I don't want to blow your, and by the way, Lita Caproni Knight, that you're a part of the mod squad. I don't know why I'm talking down to the mic other than I've just gotten used to doing that. Excuse me. So a little secret of the mod squad, Lita, she has that's not her real accent. She's British. That's Jessica X. She's
never
just
heard her
playing
before,
Lita
so-
Caproni. Literally. It's true.
Lita Caproni is fake name.
100%, that is not her real name. That's true.
Well, Ian isn't my real name.
No,
so
clearly.
I think we have something in common.
See, this is what I'm saying. Lita Caproni is not Lita Caproni. Lita Caproni
Yeah,
is...
my real name is Michael the Thinker Schwartz.
Well, we know that, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know why you mentioned that other name. I was confused as soon as you mentioned it again, because I told you I wasn't going to say it, so... Yeah, oh God. That's Lita's catchphrase, oh God. Because Lita...
I'd like to hear your love story now, Aaron.
Which one?
Give it.
Which one?
to
What do you
me,
want?
man.
Give it to you? You haven't even finished yours. You haven't gotten to the bushes. You haven't gotten to the pounding, which was unlubricated, by the way. You haven't gotten to the nighttime view or the alien ship. There's a lot missing from the story. I'm sorry. You want me to, do I need to urge you to go on, or is this, did you just forget the details because it was so lustful? Is that what happened?
Oh well, no, I do remember the details. I was just me going up to the point where
Oh, I didn't
we
know.
became lovers. But if you do want me to go into the anal pounding, we can if you'd like.
Well, if you're into we can watch how to nair your butthole while you describe this. I think it's educational. I don't know. I'll probably get taken down, but it's probably educational for somebody. I don't know. Let me ask though. Are you familiar with Candy
Okay,
Cane in the
well-
chat? Hold on 1 second. So you can tell your story, and I'll keep talking.
Oh, candy cane?
Yeah. Well, it says Candy Cane. And I'm Queen has vouched for Candy Cane, so I'm hovering above her now. And I'm Candy Cane. If you didn't know, welcome to the Mod Squad, where everybody gets to play with the trolls. Even the trolls get to play with the trolls once in a while. Because we get serious wackos. Not like Michael's not a wacko. Michael's fun. Michael, you're the thinker. I'm sorry.
What are you implying?
You're fun. You're fun.
What?
No, you are.
You think I'm a troll, dude?
No, you're not a troll.
What?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I'd like to consider us more as friends.
We are becoming friends. No, truly, parasocially, we are. I'm enjoying you quite a bit. And by the way, when I say troll, about the positive ones, not the ones I'm talking about aren't actually trolls. When the ones I'm talking about that come to the channel that do some of the funny stuff you'll be like, what? You already saw them. Your guys' reaction backstage was enough.
But which ones?
The ones, remember last time you guys called in and the little mob that showed up that was like, who the fuck, what?
The ones that said the N-word?
All that other shit. No, there was more than just
I was joking about that. I didn't think they'd actually do that.
No,
but
that's...
they did, and I was right, of course.
Of course.
Thinker.
Well, you are the thinker. And by the way, even if that had been your guy, it kind of got masked by the fact that the other people that were backstage were not your people, and the reason I wasn't letting them up was because they are wild, like on the next level. So, you'll see them. Sometimes you'll be able to bat at them.
Wait, they've
it's
been
fun.
here before?
Are you kidding? Oh, every once in a while I get dropped on. I got one that came in the other day that said, and sadly so, clearly a lonely person. He said repeatedly, I think it was about 20 times. Because, when you're spamming, if you say long statements 20 times, then you're really sane and clear of mind. It was something to the extent of, I'm so lonely? Like, with sad faces underneath it, and my response to that was like, wow, you're lonely and psychotic. Well then, I don't hide many people, but it was a specific person who didn't even hide their ID in an alt.
Oh my.
Yeah, that was even funnier. Like, really, you're just gonna come on here and be...
That's very sad.
Unhinged. It kind of is, man. There's a lot of lonely. I'm not even gonna finish the words.
Bad, dude.
Yeah. No, you okay? Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Hey, man. People don't do what you do, which is to reach out and touch someone vigorously, repeatedly. With consent.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about with consent.
With consent, of course. Yeah. But that's key. My pleasure, Candy Cane. Anytime. Welcome on into the Mod Squad. It's so much more fun. And you got vouched for by the grand. One of the grand poobah. What'd you think I was gonna say? Anyway, what? So tell me something. So how's it been going since then? Because we did hear the pounding story, so I won't bother you with that. But how's it been going since? Are you guys living together yet? Is this a on and off thing? Are you just dating out in the public? Is this a multifaceted event? Are there toys? Well, you tell me.
We'll see each other every now and then.
Okay.
We're dating, though. We're happy.
It's good here.
Aaron, I do want to hear
my love story.
Your most recent love story.
Oh, my most recent love story.
When would that be? Aaron?
Some years back, 5 or 6 years. It's mundane. The most recent love story, very mundane, older person love. Yeah, because honestly, love changes and becomes more practical as you get a little older. It becomes less fueled by wanting to fuck the person as much as you can and more fueled by, is this person's credit rating gonna match mine in 5 years? You know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, I know it sounds fantastic, right? And but really, truly, there's a lot of other things that you take into consideration. So if I was going to tell a love story or a fun love story or something interesting, I'd tell the story of Inga. Inga I, I'll say that, is a Russian girl, a very educated Russian woman that I spent 2.5 months fawning and loving over, and tried to bring her back to the States for a brief moment there because I was very certain that I was going to marry her. Or at least try just to at least bring her over here because the circumstances overseas were not really beneficial to her. And everything, you know, everything held us from each other in that event. And it was also way too expensive to bring her over. So at the time period, I was still, you know, younger. There's no way I could have put the bond up and that kind of thing. But the story is that I went to Russia, Moscow specifically, with a group of actors and production people to do the play Hair. And it had never been done over there, and we had interpreters ready. The play Hair, yeah. Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That kind of shit. Broadway show kind of thing. And we had a Russian producer, and I think you're getting some delay off me there. Oh man.
Well, I think it's because you're sharing your Streamlabs, or like your OBS that's supposed to actually talking to me directly.
Hold on a second. Let me check it out.
That's the only thing
Let me
I
see
hear.
if the. Let me see. 1 second. No, I'm hearing your dog bark in the background. That's what it is. I'm sorry. And you're just far enough behind to where I'm just hearing it in the speaker or something. I don't know. You're okay. So it's just in the background. It's not like stopping
Dog's
me.
barking?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, you didn't know. I'm sorry, I have to address this. Don't listen to Aaron, LMAO. I just do a pretty decent English accent. Yo, that is her cover. Hold on, let me come up for a second. Gotta come up for air. Yo, that is Lita's cover. True. Lita, look, I don't want to blow you out here, but, you know, Jessica, Lita X, whatever you want to call yourself now, you know. Let me see if this is it. Yeah. How's that? Can you still hear me over on the other side there, Thinker?
Who, me?
Yeah. Clearly. All right.
Yeah, you cut
that'll
out
be
every
good.
once in a while and you're delayed, but...
Oh, it's not matching with the face.
I suppose so.
The
I
faces
guess
aren't
the
matching.
answer's
By the
just
way,
like-
is Ashley still in the crowd?
What?
Do you know if Ashley's still in the crowd? Is Ashley still in the crowd? Do you know? By the way,
Ashley!
Ashley, Ashley, Ashley. Ashley said that she might have imbibed something this evening, and I was just making sure that she's okay and that she's enjoying herself still.
Oh, God, I hear you twice.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I might be shifting a little phasing. I might be trying something new this evening when it comes to I don't know if you're familiar with some of the concepts around alternate realities and such.
Dimensions?
Yeah, dimensions as well.
Oh, on some Doctor Strange shit? That shit is awesome, dude.
Oh, bro, let's go. Because multiple realities, it's a thing. I'm just saying. I mean, literally. I'm saying that it is. And love. Okay, so go to Russia. Gonna do this play. We have an interpreter. She's absolutely astonishing as a human. And, oh, Jelly! I'm sorry, let me do that. Jelly! What's happening? And ladies and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, the only known main mod, Bridget Mountain, come on in. We're talking love this evening.
Fuck me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, you don't, I mean, I don't roll that way, but, you know, I appreciate you for that request. It's always nice to be wanted. That's what's important. But Jelly just came in. Bridget Moten, the main mod, just came in. Jelly, you can always hop up anytime. We're talking love. I'm expecting a potato to call as well, if she's available. Michael, I'm gonna talk to a potato tonight.
Potato.
Yeah, sometimes she's baked.
How's it going?
No, she hasn't come up yet. But she...
You mean like you're excluding me?
No, I'm not gonna exclude you. Why would I exclude you? I'm just telling you, I'm gonna talk to a potato.
Oh, okay, I can be part of it.
Oh yeah, sure, if you want. Be careful, the potato's spicy. She's actually spicy potato.
So,
She's
Aaron,
baked,
you
but-
strike me.
Yeah.
You strike me as the type to be very careful about who you choose for your love interest, huh?
Yeah, as of now. Past decade, yes. Guarantee. Yeah, I'm pretty careful. Mrs. Potato. Yes,
So have you ever
Mrs.
tried
Potato.
to reach out to this girl again?
I did at one point, and then a colleague of
Russian
mine.
chick?
Yes, I did. So I went back to Moscow many times, so the way that they're actually set up there is you kind of have to have permission to live in a major city, in the sense that you have to have a license to be there, like in Moscow or something. And she is from an obelisk, a smaller town that essentially is a military town, and she was trained as a medical assistant, and her parents are both doctors. And she went back and got her education and ended up marrying a military person. And that happens pretty young in Russian culture. And so she was taken pretty quickly.
fucked.
She spoke 5 languages. She was just absolutely stunning and had a great attitude, was quick. It just
When was
highly...
the last time you checked her status?
Oh, it's been a long time, but it's one of those things where that's a world apart. It's just too much now. That kind of thing is that it was what it was when it was, and it was fantastic. And
Much
now,
going on.
well, I'm just not there with that. We're probably 2 different people now. You'd have to restart a whole program, and that's one of the things is it would never be the same. It would never be a similar kind of experience. We were pitted together. She was the interpreter. I'm the well, we would call it production manager now, but they called me company manager, where I took care of production and I actually mixed the shows, showed the text what to do, and it was all kind of a mess too. So all kinds of stress and multiple levels, little intrigue, a lot of unusual experiences because we were a group of Americans in Moscow in 1999. And we were there the day Putin got voted in.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh yeah, we were experiencing, and the person that took us there would be considered an oligarch now, and their grandfather was a person named Anatoly Mikoyev, and Mikoyev was the head of their Duma for 40 years. The Duma is like Congress, but in communism, these people stayed in power for many years. And what's special about this gentleman is that he was there allegedly with Stalin and a whole group of people the day that Stalin died, and disposed of and took care of all the issues. So that led him to a position of power under Khrushchev. And it was an interesting place. I lived in Gorky Park for 3.5 months, and the whole time I was accompanied by this 5'1" magical key to the world there, who could speak everybody's language and get us in anywhere. And she was really amazing. She really did show me the world there. I also had a lot of clout because of the person who had us there, and I have stories about that too. But if you want to just talk about the love, there was a lot of love, as well as they're very open about sexuality, and very open about, if you're not married, have fun. And
Really?
Yeah, it was very different. And I'll say that one of my colleagues, who was a father, came over and said, "Would you like to date my daughter?" It's like, what'd you say?
Oh.
Turned out that's not unusual for a certain age range, because she wasn't dating anyone, and mom and dad were concerned that she was lonely. How's that? They weren't saying go screw her daughter, but they were like, hey, she said something about you. So I was like, what? What'd you say? You know what I mean? So,
Have you ever been married?
No. I've traveled for too long of my life. No. Almost. I always joke that I paid for a divorce, even though I didn't go through one. But that's a story for another time. And one of those...
I think now would be the
No.
best time.
That's not love. That's it.
Since
That's
we're on the
war.
topic
That's war.
of love, Aaron.
I know, but that's not war. That's not love. That's war. That's the failure of love.
War.
Yeah, it's war. That was shit. That was terrible.
The failure of love. I think it falls within the same, category. If it's
Okay.
love that.
No, you're right,
Yeah,
thinker.
but
All
it's still
right, you're
love
challenging me,
somewhat.
and you're
So let's just get into it.
get vulnerable on. Okay.
It's getting later in the night. Might as well.
Might as well. Let's talk about it. All right. No, that's true. I was with a girl.
Let's do
I was
it.
with a lady. I'm sorry. I was with a lady for a number of years, and it was a very plain, mundane kind of relationship. The emotional valleys were not extreme, and if anything, it was one of those situations where we were together. It seems like, I think, in retrospect, out of some very right things in codependency, in needing one another for certain values that we had together, interests that we had together for a good amount of time. But there were components missing. And that's a deal breaker in the end, long term, because you start to grow apart. And in the end, our relationship ended with a fizzle, a whimper, as they say.
Fizzle.
A fizzle. It just kind of ended. We were roommates before you knew it. And there's a lot of other circumstances that would muddy the story that about where we were living and why we were living there. I chose to be in a place with her where somebody else had leverage over us, and I didn't know it. And I didn't know that somebody outside of our interests, of our relationship, had chest action. I'm sorry, you didn't notice? I am your hot tub repairman this evening. It's hot tub maintenance. Yes, you can call me Slick, because I work for, that's right, hold on, you want to see the whole of the shirt? This is one of my best. Is it still on there? Oh yeah, it's the see the motel? Screenshot it. Look at it later. You're good. Anyways, I don't normally wear short sleeve shirts, but when I do, damn sure this shit's gonna show me chest hair. Anyways, yeah, here to maintain your hot tub. Anyways, you need your pipes cleaned? Sorry. I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to go on. So yes, and not to deflect away from the story, because it's a serious story, and I don't want to go into too deeply, because there was so fucked up, and that's the thing, is people are fucked up. Sometimes you can't expect in the world to know what people are gonna do, and you can't expect that.
You know what my theory is, man?
What's that?
I feel like there are a lot of women out there that are, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them are missing that.
Well, I think people are, man, because I've experienced men doing these kind of things to other people. I've experienced, this wild whistle, but there's no whistle emoji. Yeah, there needs to be a whistle emoji. Good deal. Good call for that one. I need to, when I finally get emojis or monetized, which I probably won't, at least I'll get to that level and they'll give me emojis so I can have, I don't know, maybe I will. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll make a whistle. Yeah. I think that there are people that won't have your best interest, and you'll never know. And this is something that we can only have so much purview. We can only play chess so much. We can only extend our reach of the inside of people's behaviors so far. And in the case of my last experience, one of the things that was shocking to me is how the person I had been with and then been just living with until I could move, because I was building a home and in the process of, and had a motorhome to move to at one point, which was, I got to be parked, and I lived there for a good long time. It was awesome, actually. It was the size of a 1-bedroom apartment most people have, in basically the forest. It's gorgeous, and awesome, and quiet. And it was a luxury thing, actually. Most people would be like, you lived in a motorhome? Oh, yeah, I would actually, I would have rather lived there than the apartment I moved to during COVID because of the experiences were just so much different. In any case, story goes is that a sister wanted the apartment that we were living in. I had renovated it. I renovated it for my ex's younger brother and sister who were had developmental disorders. They behaved like children, basically, but were full-blown adults. And I thought I was gonna be part of that family. Either way, it didn't matter. I had access to carpenters at the time. I had access to a lot of things. And when we moved in, we cleaned up and renovated the whole front of the house. And the whole house needed renovation. And the family was living very poorly in the back. And it was just not a happy situation for them. So I was trying to do my best, because I thought I was gonna be a member of the family, once again. And apparently, when our relationship started to end, we must have had an argument or a disagreement that was heard through the wall, which was curious because the person who heard it was hard of hearing. So I'm still, to this day, wondering how somebody heard an argument through the wall, when they were hard of hearing, where they wear hearing aids in both ears and I don't know.
It is a bit strange, isn't it?
It's a bit odd. It's a little odd. It always stood out to me. Yeah, I don't want to get into the details, but it's one of those things where you're like, really? Okay. You never know. People don't have.
Some people are evil, man. It's
some people.
fucked.
Well, I don't know it's evil. I think it's just misguided, misrepresentative, in fear, man. Evil can take a hold of fear.
You're giving them too much benefit of the doubt, dude.
Not all of them. No. In this
Those
case,
people are just evil.
well, I think most people are good. And what happens is they capitulate to evil notion. They end up doing little things in their life because they think they need to get by, which is what it was. Both my ex and everybody else, because my ex was going to fight against the whole of everybody, and the sister who wanted the front of the building. She was willing to do all kinds of things, and she convinced everybody to start acting in wild ways, and including me getting chased down the street by someone, an uncle and a dad, threatening to kill me while I'm walking the dog just because they see me. Not because I've done anything wrong, but just because they see me. By the way, this person was also very much on drugs. They were both taking psychiatric medicine. It was one of the two people came chasing me, was on psychiatric meds, and was sharing those meds with the person who ended up running down the block after me. Now I had found, I'll tell you a little more other parts of the story. I have a heightened awareness. I've always had it. It's part of my gig. The joke "look up" comes from theater, because when you walk on the stage, always look the fuck up. You don't know what's in the sky above you. You don't know who's in the sky above you, and shit can fall, and it'll kill you. So that heightened state of awareness kind of stands out in many things, and I'm one of those people who runs towards the fire. That's just how it is. So some days earlier, I found a couple of aluminum baseball bats in the front yard in a weird place, like looking hidden. And I was like, well, that's freaking weird. Kind of want a baseball bat though. Cool. So I took it inside, because on our property. So I thought it was, maybe just, somebody throwing something. Yeah, it's not just the lemon jelly. I'm sorry. Autocrack Rouge. I didn't look at the chat. I apologize. Selective hearing. What the heck? Yeah. Oh, anyways. So I get chased down the block. When I get to the house, and I've already called the police, and the neighbors are looking at me like crazy because the car is doing crazy shit on the curb, and this dude's screaming at me behind me in Spanish, and it's just making a scene. And I'm like, I've now got the dog in my arm, and I'm running in the house.
Oh, Latina, huh?
Yeah, sure. Where I'm from, every third person is Hispanic. Yeah, I mean, it didn't even, it just how it is. And so I get in the house, I would close the door, bolt that motherfucker, and these guys go into the pile near the trash can where the aluminum bats were. And they go looking for something, and sure enough, they go grab some things, and I'm sure they were looking for the aluminum bats. I'm sure of it. And they come smashing on the wall, and on my car, and on the door, and I'm, like, what the fuck? What is going on? So I start filming, and there's
Oh, you filmed it, huh?
Oh, fuck,
you got a
yeah.
video?
I do, and I will not share that shit. No. That's like many other things.
Come on, man, you gotta.
No. I would never do that. That's something that was horrifying, and they were just not. I mean, like, when I say horrifying, it's like I've been in places where people are shooting above our heads, at each other. And this moment was more concerning because they were focusing on me, and I knew them, and they were psychotic as fuck. It was crazy. It was also like some place they visited often, so it's not like we didn't know who they were. It was very wild. It was just all unhinged, and authorities were called, things were handled. It was fine after that, and then the sister just started basically coming at me directly, which at first I thought I handled pretty well and pretty calmly, and I was trying to get my ass out of there as fast as I could, but at the time there was a housing shortage here, and everything was 4 to 6 month wait list, no matter what. So I was looking at moving back into the motorhome in the meantime, because I'm building a house. I'm almost done. Life is complex, man. You get older, life gets more complex. And there's finances. She couldn't afford to live on her own, so I wasn't going to just leave her in that situation. And there was just lots of little complex edges to the story. What's that? Oh, yeah, no, I was trying as fast as I could. I was ready to just go. And where I ended up going, for about 4 months was actually good for everybody. I ended up taking care of my parents. My stepfather and my mom for about 4 months there, and I didn't realize that my stepfather was in a state the way he was. So it worked out. I love that dude, by the way. Speaking of which, he's since passed. But yeah, adults, they don't want to trouble their children, by the way, and that's a thing. I was shocked to find out how much of a thing. Anyways, everybody wants to know that they have autonomy in their own agency, always. Anyways, so the story of that other thing happens to go down where I got kicked out of the house and I had to run, and all of my possessions got taken and put in a storage, and they would not let me come collect it. And they let me get my TV, my coffee maker, thank God. I took a couple pieces of paperwork, but I got chucked based off of a bunch of lies in the end. They had to just make up a bunch of shit to get me out. And I had to fight for all my belongings. And I had to fight all the accusations, and in the end, turned around so that I ended up having the leverage in the situation. So I got to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to take this full away. I've seen what you've spent. They lost, from my understanding, they lost the house and had to get one of the other family members to basically get it out of arrears or whatever the hell it was, That's sad in itself, because that was the payoff there. Sad for everybody, and then I sat, and by the way, let me tell you something, id death. You know what an id death is, thinker?
No idea.
Id death. Yeah, I do. I like them spicy in general, though, Queen. I like them spicy in general, and I have to tamper myself if I'm like immediately like attracted. I will now go, she looks a little nuts. I'm probably way too attracted to that. She's gonna light something on fire. Okay, no. You know what I'm saying? So, Michael, have you seen id death is our id is our inner being, our true selves, all our root insides. And when that dies, because you find that you've come to a new level of self, you have a phoenix moment where some people lose themselves completely, or they become a new they grow on the old self. And it's healthy to have id death. And some people take hallucinogens to achieve these things, and some people meditate, and some people go through trauma, or some people, there's all kinds of ways to achieve id death in a positive or negative light of learning oneself. The story Siddhartha suggests that there could be 5 id deaths in a healthy being. Good morning, Resto Chesto. What's happening? I hope you notice that I am mildly inspired by you today, sir. In an angle, I decided to just go full tilt Joe Frank because fuck it, I'm tired of the copyright bullshit. I don't need to share someone else's shit when I can talk for 8 hours. Talking about love you, sir. You're amazing. And by the way, I love that you came in after I Am My Grandmother's Rebellion. Queen, Resto Chesto, Queen, where the hell is Lita? Lita, Jessica X Brony. I just want her to hop up so that she can convince all of you that she's not Jessica X, because she's so good at doing that. She's gotten everybody convinced that she's not Jessica X, Michael. Anyway, so yeah, I ended up without all of my belongings. Every single thing I've collected over a lifetime of travel, a whole bunch of stuff, including just, you know, all of my passes and all of my grandparents' stuff that they left me, my library, which is fairly extensive, all of my clothing, every piece of furniture that I collected and or bought over 25 years, all of my childhood belongings, my photograph albums, hard drives, my late music partner's studio, including many masters to things, and other items that essentially somebody shouldn't have had. And you gotta change that to Thinkery, man. People calling you that strange name again. Ion? You're gonna go with Ion? Is that what it is?
No, my name's
Thinker. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, so for real, it was one of those things where I just had to give it all up. Took a couple weeks and just be like, well, I got this card table. I have that coffee. I got that coffee maker. They gave me back my TV. Cool. Oh, we got to pick up the piano. They let us pick up the piano.
That's fucked up, Aaron.
Shit happens, man. You never know what people are gonna do.
That's not a shit happens moment. That's fucked.
That's life changing, yeah. But you know what? That's what I'm saying is shit happens. It's how you deal with it. It's whether or not you love life enough to keep moving forward and decide that it's important that you don't capitulate to other people's fucking nastiness or whatever it is. And you don't have a choice. You got another day coming tomorrow. I still had to keep moving. You know, and I was lucky at the time because I literally was transferring jobs at the time and started working, instead of working at a theater where I would have had to like work and figure out, but you know, moving and all that stuff and long days. And I went to working from home for a record company doing A&R stuff and video editing and promotions and advisory, basically executive assistant stuff. And which was great because then I had all the time in the world to deal with things, and I didn't have much needs. It was very meditative, man, very cathartic. I didn't need any of my stuff anymore. I didn't, you know, bought some more clothes and moved on. You know, I just moved on. So when I got my stuff
what about
back, now, oh, I got it all back. I got it all back.
No, I mean.
Oh,
I mean, like,
love?
Now.
Oh.
Love. Oh, yeah.
Love, I am giving it more grace. I'm giving it more time. I'm giving it more credence in different ways. I am looking at people definitely differently. And I'm evaluating from a slightly more, I'd say, careful attitude. In that, and now I have a new boundary that I added, which is if I see that the external of your family, if I'm getting serious about you, is nuts, I gotta say no and limit the extension of it. You know, if they have ply over your life, if you're not a strong, if you don't have your own strong agency or your own strong will of character, it's a no. Also, I gotta have strong drive in a reasonable fashion. These are all different things, you know, and it's stuff that you kind of have to learn you want in very specific ways. And I also, you know, I haven't been lonely for a very long time, so I see companionship in a different way. Companionship is more about camaraderie and getting along and being interested in not just similar things, but also being interested in each other's differences. And so I love dating. It's the spice of fucking life, man, especially getting older. And as you get older, there's different things that happen when you're dating. Like, you know, the last lady I saw, basically we parted ways because she started seeing somebody else and she didn't want me to, like, not have anybody to date or go out with, so she hooked me up with her friend. And we started getting along well. Then her friend kind of got busy with life. And I'm not going to be pissed at that. That's how it is. Maybe we'll go out on a date again soon. But, you know, sometimes I think people take all that stuff just way too seriously. They don't let it happen naturally, that it, like, just happens. It does. It takes intention, but poked yourself in the eye. Holy shit. Lita, do not poke yourself in the eye. You know, that's not, don't do that. Why'd you do that? Are you okay? Sorry, are you okay? Can you see out of the eye?
I have to wear glasses like this fucking guy.
I know, like me. I've been blind since I was like 4, by the way. They looked at my eyes and they were like, this child is going to need glasses, clearly. I don't know. I think they just sold me glasses because they wanted to sell me fucking glasses, to be honest with you. My brother, one of my brothers has like extra better vision, you know what I mean? He was like, I don't know if it's like 2020, it's not 2020, it's beyond 2020. It's like, he was getting headaches as a teenager. And they took him to the optometrist. The optometrist was like, or the doctor, and the doctor said, no, it's his eyes. And the optometrist was like, oh yeah, his brain is straining because his eyes have extra, like, focal length. He can actually, my brother can see extremely far away, very clearly apparently. And he can point shit out. I've been with him where he's like, see that? See that? I'm doing a terrible him. Sorry. See that up on the tree? Yeah, I do. No, up there. And he'll point like a mile away. No, I don't see. What the hell do you see on the tree? Oh, it's a big eagle. It's pretty beautiful. I'm like, how do you fucking see that shit? He's never worn glasses, but don't even know how my finger reached my eye in a way that it got poked. Now, you might be doing something right tonight, Lita. I don't know what's going on over there, but I want to party with you. Everybody loves a good poke. You love a good poke, don't you, Michael? Did I lose you, Michael?
You should get LASIK, dude.
My dad did. I'll tell you why I don't like the idea. I'll tell you why I don't like the idea.
Zoning.
Are you zoning?
Yeah.
By the way, so Michael, tell us about, has anything terrible, like fuck shit, happened in your life, love life? Oh, Lita, please end up with a monocle. Not in a bad way, but Lita, would you mind wearing, would you wear a monocle or something like that? Because that'd be awesome co-host shit. Just pop up. All I gotta do is be like, Michael, has anything, you had any tough times in your love life, or are you just a pure slam bam man? Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, of course I have.
Tell us about it. Let's hear. What you got? What happened? Are you okay?
Well, most recently, probably a few months ago, there was a girl who do my own thing, right? You know, work out, do that kind of thing, worry about myself. She chased me down, would talk to me every opportunity she would get, chased me like crazy, right? So I'm like, okay, I gave it like a month, talked to her a little bit, got to know her. right? Seemed pretty cool. But
And what happened then?
yeah, chased me down a while. We started dating naturally, because you know, obviously if she was chasing that hard, surely she saw something in me pretty good.
You know?
And I'm like, all right, sure, this girl seems pretty sick. You know, so we're dating. You know, we're pretty passionate with each other. Blah 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 blah. We were dating for a good like 5 months. Then out of nowhere, I get cheated on. The hell? Didn't make sense to me. I don't know why she would do something like that.
Well,
Like you chased me down. Why would you? Why?
Okay, but
I
you-
don't get that.
let me ask you this, Thinker. So you're referring to the beginning of the relationship when you talk about what happened. I know she may have chased you down, but what occurred before she cheated on you? In the days before you found out, or where you found out when she cheated on you? Did you find out when she cheated on you, or is it just something someone told you?
I found out after she ended the relationship.
Oh. And when did she end the relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably like a week before I found out.
Okay. What was going on in the end before it actually failed in your mind? And thank goodness for it not being the end of Lita Caproni.
Being
Lita
very,
X. Sorry.
being very dry in conversation, acting strange, you know, not being active sexually the way she used to.
Sure. And what occurred right before that? Did you guys have an interaction? Were you going out? What's the action that happened right before she went cold?
There's a long story to that.
Go ahead. We
Long
got time,
story.
man. There is no timer here.
Well,
Yeah.
basically, to put a short summary. She snuck me into her house, you know, while she was home alone and all that. You know, her house that she didn't own, that her parents owned at
Nice.
the time, but they weren't there. You know, I get over there, I get snuck in. She had a younger sibling,
Which is
that
exciting.
was there
That sounds exciting.
Ended up ratting.
Oh, so she was babysitting or something?
No, she ended up ratting. It wasn't something like that, I guess. And, you know, she obviously it didn't roll over well with her parents, and her parents took that very seriously. So they had to keep it down on a down low for a long time. We had to keep it very down low, actually.
Understand. So essentially, you're describing a situation that was contemptuous for her, that had some challenges, and maybe she went for something that was just more out in front of her and easy. Maybe it had nothing to do with you, because don't forget, you're young, and you all should just be doing a lot of things, being open, honestly, in my opinion, normally, because, you know, unless it's really fire. Don't waste your time. You got all this time. Trust me, in your 30s, everybody's going to want to settle down. Just happens naturally. But tell me something. And this is no fault of yours, by the way. This happens. You know, it sucks. And this is the knee skinning I talk about. You know, you think maybe it just had to do with the fact that there was something easier?
Maybe if it was the fact that it wasn't, or maybe if it wasn't like what she said, was their best buddies. How it just so happened to be a best friend.
Well, you know, these things do happen. And sometimes best friends turn into lovers. And sometimes lovers turn into enemies because of the fact that you want someone. And I would urge you to let go of the past and move forward, because you got millions of options. You're the thinker. I'm gonna remind you of that. You're the thinker.
I'm talking to someone now. I'm still praying on them bitches' downfall.
Oh,
but...
well, okay. That's different. So why do you want her downfall, though? I mean, that sounds harsh. Did she really, did she get back at you or something like that? Is it somebody you knew? Did she leave you with a sting when you pee?
Nah, I just
good.
don't like that someone could do something like that. That's fucked up.
Oh, Queen wants to know if you're the same dude that was in the bushes getting some action when the UFO situation happened, and that would be true. The answer is, yes. Any commentary?
We're on to different. I'm on to different things now.
The youth.
As you can tell.
Yeah, the youth, they're open to many
Michael
things.
Schwartz. I
Michael
love
Schwartz.
myself a lot.
Yeah. Which is good. Thank goodness for it, by the way, Michael.
Trying our hardest.
Yeah. As long as you're hard in that situation, you're good. Working hard. That's what matters. Did he really like her? Or did he like how much she was into him? Candy Cane asks. Did you really like her? Or did you just like how much she was into you?
I think at first it was more like me liking how much she was into me, but what really made me resentful was the fact that I started really liking her after a good while, and then she turned around and did that.
But do you think maybe there's a chance that she knew that you liked her, and that's what pushed her away? Because maybe you were showing it? Were you showing it?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not that you shouldn't show it, but some people are more intimidated. Think that could have been a case?
Nah, I just think ill intention.
She just wanted to hook up with the other person, is what you're saying.
Probably.
All right, that's not bad, because you want to hook up with somebody else, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
All right. You know what? Let me see something. I want to see something. Let me see something. Stand by. Stand by. Is this in time? And there's no delay, and you can still hear the music, right? Oh no, there's still a delay to you because you're somewhere
I
else.
don't know if there is delay. Yeah.
Weird. That's weird. But you know what's weird? Love. That's some weird shit, if you really think about it. It's like in a space of the brain, right there in front of the medulla, and the same little area of the brain makes pain, addiction, sense of deja vu, you fucking name it. It's all this one little area. Thanks for the clarification, Queen says. Strap it up before you back it up. True. No glove, no love. Absolutely. And take your health check, or at least everybody get checked. If you're going to be unprotected, get checked. Both of you together. Look at each other's stuff carefully. Stay safe while you're exploring your sexuality, and please do explore your sexuality, because healthy people explore in healthy ways. And I'll leave it to that, she says. And that is smart. There's a slight echo, but you can hear. Hold on one second.
Oh yeah.
You know, it may be this. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That should be better. No. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Sorry. It's this one. Let's see if... No, it really wants to it really wants to do that thing today. I might have to actually check this out. Yeah, it's on the communications loop. That shouldn't be hearing a loop. I think it's just hearing a speaker in the background, something like that. We're good though. And I'm talking in a smooth voice, and the reason I'm talking in a smooth voice is because at this time of night, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you know what time it is. Thinker, do you know what time it is? Close. You're so close, bro. You were so close. I thought you were going to vomit on your mic. I was completely concerned. By the way, I just want to mention, roll back to Lita. Lita, your eyes are beautiful. Please don't lose them. You need them for things. They help you see. Just pointing out the obvious. I'm just saying, when you got your finger in your eye, don't shove. Was he getting too controlling or jealous? Bridget asks.
No, and I think that was the problem, because it got to a point where I would let everything slide because I didn't want to get to that point. I didn't want to seem like that type of person.
You're being too
right?
cool.
It would get to a point where she would prioritize conversations with her, her guy best friend, or to want to see her guy best friend, as opposed to like being with me for a little while. And I allowed it, because I didn't want to seem like the jealous type. I put too much trust into her, had too much faith in it, which is why I think she would do something like that, because she probably thought that she would get away with it.
Well, she didn't have your best intentions, and that's one of the things we learn about people, is trying to view whether or not others have our best intentions. It's something we learn over time. We can only kind of smell it, and even then, you never know what's inside someone's mind. And I'm gonna say that it's, there's lots of stories in my life that you just never know what's in someone else's mind. I have told the story of why I'm missing teeth, why I don't have it fixed. It's not a simple situation, and how it happened over several years. Well, somebody I loved, or I believed I loved at the time, put something in my coffee because they wouldn't let me make my coffee. And sometimes you don't know what people are all about. And I'll tell you this, I've shared this story before, so I won't go into detail. But, you never know what kind of intention people have for you until you find out. And sometimes you find out in the worst ways. But that's life, and either you get back up with a spear in you and keep walking or running, or you fall down and you literally expire. And in my case, I wasn't gonna let that shit kill me. And it bled out my system, took most of my mouth with it. And I'm lucky that it wasn't something worse than that. I'm way lucky. All sorts of things could have happened. I just happened to come from strong lot, like my joke, my mom can literally, throw a spear through her and she'll just keep walking and be like, what's wrong? I don't understand. Anyways, my mom, by the way, in her late 70s, skydiving with her 93-year-old boyfriend, 94. 94-year-old skydiver. Taking my mom around the planet. They just got back. They're going on another tour in October. People can definitely make or break you, Candy Cane says. How old is he? Just curious. Candy Cane, are you single? Are you looking? I know he's a little young. He's in his early 20s. How old are you? How old do you think you're?
I'm gonna leave that a mystery. The thinker can't reveal too much about himself.
True. This is true. He's an adult. You're an adult, though. We can say that, right?
Of course.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I think that's fair. Just trying to understand his mindset. Yeah. Absolutely fair. And by the way, speaking of which, your mom's an adrenaline junkie now, living the life. Yeah, she's very much having fun, Queen. And yeah, my mom was somebody in the 60s and early 70s who had her own motorcycle. My mom, I picture somewhere with me on the back of the motorcycle clinging for dear life. Yeah, my mom is an interesting lady. She survived cancer. She was a electronics draftswoman. She's just an interesting person. She was a single mom in the 1960s. And there's all kinds of things about her that are very interesting. And I'm lucky. Yeah, great example of a human. Anyways, it brings me to this. I asked earlier if you knew what time it is. And apparently you're not aware, but that's okay, because Kashan will tell you.
Ooh, well damn, baby. Did one of y'all just turn the heat up? Or did it just get real sexy in here? Back again, baby. With Aaron After Dark. Oh, well damn, baby. Did one of y'all just ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all ready to get real sexy. It's time for Aaron After Dark.
True. So glad to be here. Not that there's much difference than before, but you know, I just want to make sure everybody knows. You know, because we can be extra sexy now, because Kashan already introduced us. So. Let's go. So, you're seeing someone new, or starting to talk. You're talking to someone new.
Talking to someone.
Tell us a little about this person.
Getting to know them. Well, you know. Let's see. Oh no, Michael Schwartz. Sorry.
What, is there another Schwartz around? You've got another Schwartz nearby?
No. Can't reveal an awful lot about this new person.
Oh, okay. But it's a new person, and
Yeah.
Where'd you meet them?
I can't reveal too much about this new person.
How do you feel about that?
There tends to be a curse. You
Okay.
know, if you talk to a person about someone else, or, hold on, let me rephrase. If you talk about someone that you're talking to somebody else, then you know, out of nowhere they'll lose interest, dude. If you start bragging about them, boom, out of nowhere you'll just get hit with karma.
So you're determinist. That would be dharma, by the way. Dharma's while you live. Karma happens over the course of your life and the next. Most of the time, the next. It's simple. Most people might understand. Yeah. Do you want some?
No, I just did.
Okay. So, what can you reveal to me about this person without blowing it for yourself?
They got swagger.
She has swagger, or they have swagger?
Queen, did you want some? It's the unholy fruit. Chocolate covered raisins. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Are you okay? I'm just making sure. Not Thinker, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I didn't want to touch you too sensitive.
Of course.
If you're sensitive, I didn't want to
No,
touch
no,
you.
no.
Oh, I know you could be sensitive.
No. You're wrong.
Oh, damn. See how it goes? Thinker always challenging. I thought he was sensitive. He says I'm wrong.
Shame on you, Aaron.
Oh, for what?
Thinking I'm sensitive, man.
Well, yeah, because well, yeah. Do you want me to explain?
What makes you think that?
What makes me think that?
What makes you think that exactly?
Because you're, well, you have a bit of stigma over sharing the possibility instead of talking it into being. See what I'm saying?
How's that sensitive, man? I just don't want to risk any.
You don't want to risk. Life is a risk. You're fucking living. I challenge you, living is a risk. You could be hit by a car tomorrow.
Well, why would I risk even more if I'm already risking something, huh? You tell me that.
Okay. You would risk even more because all the greatest
Why
risks.
would I do such a thing?
Oh, because the risks, all the greatest risks, have an even bigger payoff. It's like a times 10. You know when you play the video game on extra hard? The return, always bigger. And sometimes you can talk things into being. I know you got a superstition around it. Like, you know, a lot of performers have
Superstition.
Yeah, well, it's what would it be, basically? Because you believe by talking about it, you might disengage it, right? Or give yourself bad luck. Oh, Bridget, sorry, I missed that. I got you. Here you go. Sorry. I figure if I'm eating, I might as well offer the audience some. There you go. All right. If I want a bowl, you want a bowl for that? I might scratch this thing. I hope you have a bowl on the side. Anyway, or cup. Try it. What do you think about that, Thinker?
About what?
The challenge that you might be sensitive because you're superstitious.
How is superstition being sensitive?
Because you expect something that may be worse than it actually is.
I don't think we have the same grasp on being sensitive in this scenario.
Okay. Well, explain your
definition.
Explain your definition. Well, the definition is the same. Explain the way you see it.
Sensitive as in soft in a way. You know what I mean?
Well, is that bad?
Being soft, being not necessarily, but I don't like to be known as soft.
Well, you know. So you want to be known as hard?
I don't want to be known as hard. I just don't want to be known as soft.
So not flaccid, but like, you know, halvesies.
You know, being hard sounds better. Staying hard is cool.
Kind of is. If you got a camera on, that's an achievement.
I'd actually rather be called a camera on what?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Nothing. You're good.
I was just saying that it takes a certain skill to stand in front of a camera and perform.
I've been doing that when I've been out here.
Performing for yourself? Really?
Nah, on here. I've had my camera on before.
Oh, that's true. No, you
A few
have.
times, actually.
Yeah, true.
In front of everybody.
Right in front of everybody. No,
Showing off
I saw that. I
my
saw that.
muscles.
Uh-huh. I'm Breen. I am drinking.
Big muscles.
You did have, you know, you're getting there. You're getting there. Yeah. This is agua. Liquid of the gods. Nighttime liquid of the gods. Although, I may go in for another caffeinated drink. But this agua is hitting the spot, by the way. You like the agua fresca? Finger?
Agua?
Mm-hmm. Fresca?
Only if it has creatine in it, man.
Okay. I'm trying to pump it up. Trying to feel it out.
Oh, of course. Every day.
Bro. What day is it today? Is it leg day? Or, you know,
It's,
pec day? Glutes?
I do calisthenic work.
Okay. Trying to go healthy beyond core. Hold on a second. One of the producers has decided to try to rearrange. I can see you, little one. Yeah, come here. No, if you're gonna do it during the show, yeah, come here. Now the producer's playing coy. See how they did that? Oh yeah, wafers. Ambreen, would you like a wafer? Now I'm on to wafers. By the way, Ambreen, thank you for being here, by the way. Ambreen, I can only imagine that your viewpoints on love or your experiences or your thoughts on it are totally different. Wafer? They're chocolate tonight. Anyone? Wafer? Michael? Wafer?
Cutting, man. Can't be
Yeah,
eating
it's sugar,
enough.
right? It's the sugars. Just drag your pounds. You end up with big hips.
Yeah. Yeah, can't be getting fat, man.
Bro, I feel you. I got a metabolism like you wouldn't believe. Okay, now you want to come into... Sorry. You can't see it. Hold on. Let me get down there. The producer over here has decided to join us again. One of the producers. Yeah?
Oh boy.
Oh. They're just so indecisive. Truly. Anyways. I love wafers. I do. They're so good. It's just a little tiny crispy. Just a little tiny crispy. And a lot of flavor. How do you feel about wafers, Thinker?
They're good.
You sound like you go either way out there.
They're good when I'm not cutting.
Mmm. So you just kind of hanging on the edge here?
Suppose so.
Okay. Well then. I'll tell you what. You're always welcome to come back in. You know I love you, bro. And love.
Oh, you're kicking me out?
You spread your love. Spread something. Anyways. And by the way, best of luck with that new thing. I'm not kicking you out. I'm setting you free because I love you. That's what's important. To the ether, my friend.
What would you call it then?
I call it friendship. I care about you. That's why I send you the ether. Because I can free those things I love. I never had any boyfriend. LOL. You don't know about, she doesn't know about love. Here, marriages are mostly arranged, I would understand, by a family elder. no less. And the family elder finds husbands for girls and sons, but some do love marriages. Some do love marriages. You don't know anything about relationships. Understood. And what an honest way to say is to speak about that, because not everybody has the ability to be humble about their views on love and whether or not they're even aware, in need, or searching for that in their lives. I do believe that a wider view on love of self first, may be more applicable to the world around us. That if we love ourselves, first and foremost, all these other things, they fall into place, and the companionship that most people seek, well, it tends to be more readily available if, in fact, we shine our own light, I would say, and I would argue. I do believe that there is someone for everyone if we give ourselves the grace to find it. This is the same thing I talk about in a lot of fashions. Ambreen, great example. She never had a boyfriend at this point in time. She doesn't know about love because the marriages there are arranged, so things are different. Love yourself first. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And I think it's interesting to me that in the online, or the world of the terminally online, concept of love is something monoclastic, meaning it only has one social system, allegedly. It doesn't imply all the different variations that people find love. And it expects that you only find love with the palm of your hand and the cell phone and the slide and slip of your thumb. And I would urge you to reject the fuck out of that. Why? Because it's simply not human. We choose by pheromone and interest, eye contact and flutter of heart. We hear each other's pulse and feel each other's skin. We can sense the electricity inside of each of us. And I would urge and suggest that if we put the communication device down and use it to talk to one another, face to face, first, answer the phone, talk. Stop texting and letting everybody imagine what is being said and how it's being said. It's hurting communications. It's stopped us from finding one another. It's the simple solution. And it's something we've all known for the majority of humanity. And it's the only thing that's changed. The addition of an electronic device. Now, Aldous Huxley referred to this thing, this device that would come between us and ourselves, as soma. And soma can slow you down a bit and make you feel joy. Or soma can slow you down a lot and give you peace in sleep. Or soma, in enough, can brainwash you and make you forget who you are and make you work like a zombie. I think you're seeing the similarity, right? Because the thing we hold in our hand, it's drawn the attention of the majority of humanity now, because the fixation over a new toy, a new tool, an obsession with that tool, it's natural to humanity. And it has been very much perturbed, distorted, and made to be a device that works against its creator. Forget about AI. AI will only take over the planet and wipe away love if we let it. The thing that it'll reach to us through is in the palm of our hands every day. I'm not saying turn the phone off. I'm just saying use it for communication. I would argue that we have taken the soma pill. It used to be you walked outside and a lonely person was a hermit, and they were rare. because just about anybody and everybody found somebody. Because we were outside, we were dealing with clubs, we were going to the bar, we still are, some of us, a lot of us, actually. And when you leave the United States, you leave the Western world, everybody's living like we did in the 90s or in the 80s or in the 70s. Not that they don't have the devices, they just don't use them to replace the system of interpersonal contact, one-on-one, meeting one another and feeling the electricity light us up. Anne Breen says in 22, Arctic Timberwolf and she talked and watched movies together and had fun. Oh, I'm sorry that you aren't now. That's too bad. And hopefully it wasn't, oh, you're welcome. I missed the thank you up there. And the hearts, thank you. You know, there's so many things, and love can change, and life can change, and friends can change, and cooperation can change, and people change. It's something that we all stand to be challenged by. That it is not as simple as, oh, you love, and you get to love. It is a daily bit of work. It is a daily bit of experience. And you hope that you planned and matched right, because you will grow and you will change, and so will whomever you're with in whatever situation that is. And I'm not just talking about love, I'm talking about in life. Everybody around you is going to change. And life is long, and now they're saying people under the age of 30 are going to live past 110. Shit, I don't know if that's such a good idea, to be honest with you. Bodies start to fall apart. Now, if we get robotics and shit, all right, yeah. Which is probably what they're talking about. But love, caring for one another, intimacy, cooperation, and companionship. Those behaviors, needs, wants, and drives, the need and want to commit to our species, the need and want to have company, intimacy, the fact that we are a species who loves sex. All of these things are highly important when you consider that that component will always be involved in the forward motion of humans, ideations, creations, societal values, and that there's many different formats that already exist that aren't included in this cell phone love game, which it is, a manipulation of love. Find a partner in the wild. Because love, that's a grounded journey. That's a journey that your feet are on the ground for. You're taking steps forward. You're moving forward, not running, but taking your time. Assuring that each movement is somewhere better than the last. And if you're lucky, that movement will be in stride with someone who appreciates how you move, why you move, and you will reciprocate just as well without even having to think about it. Now, this is something that it may challenge some, because oftentimes these interpersonal affairs seem like overt work. Now, sometimes it is, but I would suggest or urge that the more you practice this daily work for others, the more it becomes innate and normal. And seeing someone who is happy, joyous, sharing will be less scary, because you'll know the only threat is those who would see empathy as bad, as an actual threat to well-being. Love is the fire we light. Love is the fire we tend to in the darkest of night, in the bluest of flame, when the wind is howling. And the only thing that matters is its warmth. It's that fire we tend to that is love. Because fire, our burn, is the example, if not metaphor, for our lives' energy, our journey, our experience with one another, burning away at time, an energy and a transference that becomes one with all. True. Yes, in Pakistan and other places, girls are not allowed to make a boyfriend for themselves because the culture has different standards and rules. It actually would be considered more conservative than here. True. A lot of people don't understand that. I was talking about that last night when I said that, they weren't just disrespecting him. They were inadvertently disrespected you. Whereas here, it would mean less to the other party because, it would seem like they're protecting you, right? But they don't even understand. These people saying it don't even have the cultural understanding to understand that they're actually insulting you. And technically, if anybody was really to know, it wouldn't be good. It would just be like, and that makes me very angry, by the way, because of their cultural idiocy. People sometimes just don't care or think that anybody else has any different standard around them. Everybody thinks it's just one thing, and it's not. And the world has many different rules in many different places. But I digress. Love, it's that fire. Again, it's the fire you tend to, not the fire you light. In the darkest of night, in the bluest of flame, when the wind is howling, that's the fire of love, the one you tend to. Now, my grandfather, Louis, used to say that to me. He also kept on his desk, and I have it on my desk in the other office, that youth is not entirely a time of life. It is a state of mind, not wholly represented by the suppleness of the knee nor the rouge of the cheek, but of the willingness to change. He's not aware what was happening, and yes, I think it was, absolutely, no, they were being idiots, and they didn't even realize, which happens. And we should be aware that sometimes people will do things inadvertently, acting as though they have valor and thinking they're funny. And in reality, they're just being insulting to a whole group of people, and they don't even know any better because they don't have the sensibility or experience or perspective to know that they are. And it's sad in a lot of ways. But I try not to give those people too much energy because essentially they make themselves irrelevant, because do they exist? They're just words on a screen at the end of the day. They don't even know where you are, which I think is funny, because they let you know in a litmus test of their social idiocy that they've never left where they grew up, that they've never left whatever little experiences they've had. Oh, I don't doubt it. And that sucks. I mean, if that relationship changed because of other people, that really sucks. When people get involved where they shouldn't be. where people insinuate themselves in between. I've been there. I talked about it earlier. Where people were just cruel in the face of other people's happiness. Because sometimes there are some people in this world that are just simply miserable. But we don't have to give in to their energies. We can keep it moving. We can keep adding. We can keep driving forward. And let them live in their murky little state, or whatever that be. But any one of us with a kind soul should know that this will be taken advantage of many times. And we have to be able to have the fortitude, the strength, the ability to get up, dust yourself off, flip the bird backwards, and run on down the road. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, people win. Other people win. And there's no reason for other people to win in anything, because life is not a competition or game. No matter how much they tell you, we don't live in that competition or game. There's no alpha, beta, or gamma in the human variety. There isn't even in the wolf variety, no matter what someone might tell you. That's actually been disproven, by the way. I thought I was giving it too much credence. I thought, honestly, that they were talking about the Spartan view of that. I didn't realize somebody was talking about that debunked idea that there's alpha, betas, and gammas in the wolf pack. So literally, they were using the reference of alpha and beta for humans from a wolf pack, as if we hunted in a pack instead of individually as Homo sapiens. It's very odd, very strange logic. Love is complex. Love is murky. Love is ugly. Sure, absolutely. I actually know a couple that has a very wide difference in age. It just depends on whether or not you guys get along and when you start. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's plenty of examples of that happening. Just depends, you know. And it doesn't even. Is there any such a thing as, does it have to last forever? What about lasting for as long as it's meant to? What about lasting for as long as it's good? And then you both have the experience and carry on and learn from something and move on. Life is long. People have these ideas that these are supposed to be lifelong because in the last centuries, we didn't live as long as we do now. And that's something that's changed. And that adaptation. Yeah, that is a distinct difference in age. I mean, that's about how you felt about it, not about, you know, what's allowed or what people think. People think all kinds of crazy shit because of their limitations. It's their limitations holding others back. You know, and they want others to be held back because their limitations, essentially, our fear state, our fears, whether or not they want to admit that, most of the time it'll be put out on others as, oh, it'll fail, oh, it'll do that. Well, you know, are they you? Are they experiencing your life? Are they going through what you are? No. We must make our choices for ourselves and not what others think. Because if we do, we're giving away that one sentient gift we have, our life. Our choices, our agency, our experiences. Now, I understand you have to tread softly, Embry. You have to be careful. You have rules that we don't, different societal norms and such. So that said, that would be, once again, a call for how you see that through the lens of your experiences and your culture and interest. And our own best interest must also be weighed in whatever we feel. And that's where I'm at now. It's like, you know, sometimes I would throw my best interest to the wind. And now I don't. Now I put that alongside it because I don't let it or expect that it's going to be something that happens later. You know? Most people, Bridget says, think it's lifelong, yes, and find it hard to let go and move on. Absolutely. It is one of the biggest problems with modern relationships is that they believe that if it fails, that they have to save it because somehow it's meant to be. God is watching it. You know, all of those implications, like the video at the beginning shared with the School of Life, are those that one human puts upon another. Umbreen says the best gift she prefers is respect. And she is respectful to anyone and wants everyone to respect her. Yeah, absolutely. And that's you have every right to expect that. If you're going to have an expectation, kindness to others and reciprocal or return kindness because you're kind should be one of those basic deals. Should be the basic deal. It's not always. You find out, sometimes we find out the hard ways, but it should be, you know? I agree. And yeah, I find it interesting that the ideas of the 19th century never left, that we're still in the 21st century talking about living to 120 years and saying that love is going to be lifelong. It's kind of magical thinking. When we know the average relationship can last 50 years, but what if you're only 70? My mom's dating, you know? And Breen says she prefers loyalty and respect in relationships first, and I am there with you. If you don't have respect, appreciation for who you are, and the loyalty factor, what does any of it matter? If we aren't able to freely open and be vulnerable in trust with our partner, whoever that be, our comrade, or, you know, the person we're spending time with, then what's the point at all? What's the point at all? Why would we, in fact, spend time with someone that we have to wonder about trusting? Well, don't you want to let down your guard? That's what I would ask. Don't you want to let down your guard and just be open? Tell someone everything? And I'll tell you something. There is a big misunderstanding. Men want to be able to do this just like women. And we have different ways of communicating. And one is not better than the other. And I would say that one of us is taught in general how to be more empathetic, and the other one is taught to be more stoic in general across the planet. When in fact, both parties are emotional beings. Both parties are made of their neurological functions. Both parties are a meat sack with a bunch of bones inside, making believe that it's real, convincing itself it's physical. It's pretty amazing. Why add extra layers of trauma and drama? Shit's already wild, dangerous, unexpected, not guaranteed. A phaser, a quasar, a black hole, an interstellar invasion. All these things could end the planet tomorrow. Have you lived your life? Would you look up and smile and say, well, hell of a story ender? Or would you run around frantically trying to complete things you never did? That'd be my question. Love, at the root of those things, I honestly would tell you, I will say, advisory-wise, I'll say advice-wise, that love will carry you further than hate and anger and anguish. Who wants to be around a pill? We all want to love. We all want love. And that can come in many different flavors. Love can come in a community. Love can come in companionship of a pet. Love can come... I've seen it come in a blow-up doll, apparently. You know, I mean, to each their own, but if you find it, I mean, just saying. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Anyways, back to the show. Why it's sometimes jealousy factor in relationships. What are the causes of jealousy? Well, that's a really interesting question. Jealousy is often caused, if you were to ask me, in my opinion, by a willingness to believe the worst about our partner, mostly because we don't trust ourselves. Jealousy is seeing others as more than ourselves and not loving ourselves enough to have the facility or agency to just first and foremost trust that we are lovable, that we are interesting, that we are just like our partner, fallible. And a lot of times people don't have the ability to be vulnerable and share that info. And that also can build up and cause an even deeper sense of jealousy of others. Because then there's a regret or a sense of anger, to be more simplistic about it, about the fact that maybe somebody else is happier, more free, more vulnerable. And then that's called projection. Because people will fear or dislike things they wish to be, or things that they don't like and mirror. So oftentimes jealousy is just very simple fear of what one wishes to be and hopes doesn't influence. Or it can just be fear of happiness of others when one can't feel it in themselves for whatever reason. It's not a bad person thing. It's just we all go through phases. We all go through different experiences. Misunderstanding and jealousy is a thing. Yeah, true. It can happen, and it's easy to happen. We're such monkey-brained creatures. We really want attention, all of us. And if we don't get it during our youth, to be frank, in healthy doses, most people will tend to seek it in negative ways as adults, which is highly ill-advised, to be frank with you. I think that anyone not getting their deal out, whatever it is, emotionally, physically, whatever, vulnerably, is hurting themselves long run, long term, because you only have this life. You push that shit off to later, it just compresses and condenses and multiplies by itself. And after some point, well, you can call it a ticking time bomb, but it's bound to release itself in one way or another, whether it be a crisis or a catharsis or a psychosis or you name it. It'll come out of you. Every pore. You're human. Your brain is a tank and it only holds so much, although we can hold a lot, at least in the forward portion of it. My pleasure. I mean, I'll answer anything I know, if I can. I have my points of view. Hopefully you find something in it, of my own experiences, because that's the only place I can speak from, is my own experiences. And I appreciate that you like the topic. I'm going to start doing this kind of conversation more often because I feel like this direct conversation and this more Joe Frank kind of stream of consciousness is something I've been wanting to do for a minute. And I know I have the capability of doing it. So thank you, Ambreen, and I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, love is a many splendid thing. In fact, you know what I forgot to put in here? Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. I forgot to change this. I can't believe. I have something specifically for this. Only used it on one other show. Breen Jad asks, what are men and women responsibilities according to you for a long-lasting relationship? Well, it's an interesting question because the responsibilities are neither male or female. They are just human. They are for each other. They are to grow with each other as best we can, to be vulnerable to one another, to be open and caring, and a good balance. The roles mean less now. What matters is empathy for one another, support, compassion, reasoning, care for what the other person cares about, and together, companionship, that kind of companionship, like a pair of hands holding, intertwined, where you meet and match each other's weaknesses with strengths, whatever that be. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. That's how good relationships last. Where someone may be good at math, the other one is good at writing. That's a good pairing. And opposites tend to attract. I couldn't get any more chocolate raisins, so I went and got some blueberry flavored almonds. Hey, I don't blame you. When I saw the unholy, I call them the unholy because they don't exist. And when you ask people if they like them, they look at you like, you eat fucking raisins? Are you a Satanist? I'm sorry. And no, I don't put them in potato salad. Who the fuck put that shit in potato salad, by the way? Can men and women be friends? That's red pill talk. Men and women, of course, can be friends. They can say that, oh, men is going to always want to have sex with you. Yeah. That precludes that women don't want to have sex with men. It's hilarious, and it's a very adolescent or childlike point of view. I would say that humans can be friends with humans. We draw the boundaries. And if you're asking, can a man be a friend with a woman without being attracted to her? What does it matter if they're friends? All the rest of that is boundary drawing and healthy behaviors. The reason somebody wants to say that is because they want to imply that you have to have a role with men. And these same people tend to be just single-minded. They don't have any relationship experience. They don't know how to get along with people, much less the opposite gender. That idea is so absurd to me. I've had so many female mentors and girls who are my friend and confidants. And today Resto and I, we were talking about this earlier. He mentioned how he has 2 best friends, one male, one female. If you want to have sex with your best friend, that's pretty cool, but it doesn't mean you're going to have sex with them, and it doesn't mean that you should imply that to your friendship. You'll probably fuck up the friendship. Yeah, it tends to be projection of those people that exactly want that. And most men will fuck a melon. Does it really mean anything if he wants to have sex with somebody he likes? It's kind of a weird thing to suggest that somebody who'd also fuck a melon wouldn't want to have sex with their best friend. It's insane. It's also the greatest compliment ever. So yeah, most men would want to have sex with their best friend, because that'd be awesome. Who doesn't want to have sex with their best friend? It's insanity. It's like backwards thinking. Of course. They're not there waiting for the day. They're there because they like you. It's actually intense how strange that reverse logic actually is if you think about it. It's everything to not see the complimentary, everything to not see men as men. Not that we, yeah, the people who see it that way are not mature. They've not had enough experiences to know that the world is varied and there's many different reasons and plot lines and agenda and all kinds of shit. Different ways of living. And Breen is a great example. Different cultural standards. Now, example, I was talking about Moscow earlier. One of the things I experienced there shocked us all. True, exactly, Ambreen. Sometimes friends get jealous just because somebody attracted me. It's like, yeah, and that may bring out all those things. It's about protectiveness. We're monkey-brained. Don't take my banana, my pretty banana. Come on. It's funny to me. Oh yeah, no, they definitely a warmed up melon. I've heard all kinds of stories. So, anyway. I was going to tell you a story, but you talked about the melon again. It's hilarious. Just the idea, warm pie. Don't get me started. Men are silly that way. So are women. Y'all buy crazy things at the store. Household appliances get used for things that shouldn't be used for. I've seen those pictures too. Here's what I'm talking about. There is an exclusionary thinking to that logic that is immature on any scale. Because women who pretend that they don't have sexual drive and don't want to fuck their male friends are as immature as the male friends who say they wouldn't sleep with their best friends who are female. Even if they're not attracted to them. Be frank with you. But just because they're friends. If you don't understand that about men, maybe you need to go back to sexuality in the first place. To learn more. Because men and women have different prerogatives and interests, values, and ways that we function. Pairings in love, that functions differently. And yeah, friendship is different than that. And love for friendship, love for our friends, is a different kind of intimacy. The intimacy between partners, that is closeness. That is sexual intimacy. That is emotional intimacy. That is vulnerability. That is trust and loyalty. These are things that have many different layers, are very personal and individual. And the more someone tries to tell you that there's some one fix-all, the more you know they are facing you with their butt cheeks and farting loudly enough for you to think they are talking. I have some little 14, 15 teenager cousins. They got jealous when they saw me talking on a phone with Arctic. And they said, don't come to our house again. Oh, no. Oh, that sucks. Oh, it happens. They'll get over it. A couple years from now, and you'll both laugh about it. True. I mean, especially if they're young. One of the things I do notice, the terminally online are carrying their junior high school and high school valor-seeking rules, in-group limitations, with them online, and making the rules for red pill and all the rest of that based off of those experiences. Akin to saying the greatest time in their life was in high school and they never got out of it. That's also a lack of emotional adeptness, meaning that their emotions haven't aged or grown. Their intelligence when it comes to their emotions, their intellect hasn't changed. It's still the same. They're still practicing the same emotional values as when they were an adolescent. Bridget, Ambreen is from South Asia. Not Asia, but the Asian continent. Different set of cultural values and rules, just so you know. If she chooses to share where she's from, she'll say it, but just so you know. So when she describes something, it's not like she's like in Alabama in a house somewhere that we're like, blink twice if you need some help. No. Ambreen comes from the other side of the planet, and that's awesome. And I appreciate it. Yeah. Love is a many-splendored thing. It's a burning ring of fire, in some cases. True, they should always come with a color. Although if they do, run. You might not be able to. It'll just overtake you before you even see it. Just be like, what? Melting! Yeah. Love and friendships. Intimacy. Togetherness. Sexuality and sensuality. Empathy. And emotional intellect. These are things we gather and gain over time. We don't just get them. We don't just learn them in one fall. We don't just leap to love. We fall in love, which suggests, like I said earlier, a matter of, well, jeopardy. That you might be giving up something for something else. There might be danger. You should share some intrepidation. But if you don't leap, what kind of faith do you have in you? What faith is there? What is faith about to you? Is it just about religion? Or do you have faith in others? Has your faith ever been restored by love? Have you ever found faith in that love? I challenge you to seek your own answers in this. It's an excellent question, Ambreen. Why is it hard to move on, falling in love with a person who loves someone else? Just a question. And it's very common. It happens to everybody. Most everybody, if you're willing to go out on a limb. And I urge you to. Because love is worth the smashing fall at the bottom. And the challenge to pick yourself up. The learning that happens in that curve. That id death. Gives us the boundaries for future love. For better choices. It is the mirror of the universe we live in. It is the mirror of all the things we should be aware of. And the only way we learn, we never really learn unless we fall. And then we gain our balance. Why is it hard to move on and falling in love? Because we vest so much of our interest. Because we want so badly for these things to work. When we do put our heart into them, when we do become vulnerable, or we show someone else our vulnerability, and then it tends to be that some people want to be angry because they shared that, and it's easy for them to blame others. Instead of taking the accountability of saying, you know what, sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose. That anger is actually in a normal understanding lack of accountability for one's own choices. It is one of the toughest lessons in all of life, to be accountable for the things that we get ourselves into. Because I would often say, and I think you probably heard this, those who play stupid games win stupid prizes. And love is one of the wackiest stupid games we all are required in one way, form, shape, or form to play. And when I say stupid, I do mean silly. I mean off, crazy, wild, and unexpected. And why some people move on in their life but don't let the other person move on? Well, some people haven't learned how to deal with their own emotional values or the impact on themselves. Some people never do. Some people want to enact pain on others if they're feeling, because as they say, hurt people hurt people. That's English for you, right? Hurt people tend to act out and hurt others because they themselves have been hurt. And in places where people aren't growing emotionally and remain adolescents in their mindset, that's really common. They'll lash out because they're acting as a teen, even though they may be an adult. You know, that can be dangerous for everybody. People sometimes never emotionally grow past a certain state of life. That's why I seek those who are constantly growing. You know that their emotional aptitude, their emotional intellect will always be something that you can at least rely on to be growing, becoming more mature than less. Why some people lose interest after some time and look someone new? Well, because either you grow together or you grow apart, and neither one is an obligation. It's a matter of choice for both parties and a matter of interest. We are human and things do change. Now, sometimes it's for good reason and others it's not. But I tend to take the point of view of Lao Tzu. And Lao Tzu suggests that things happen as you would have them. If you try too hard to fix the broken items, you're missing all the tools being laid out from the item being broken. Meaning you will find more creative processes without the thing you relied on. Let it go. Become more because you learned from the breaking. Okay. That's the way I kind of look at it now. I say yes and, personally. But not everybody can do that. You'd have to go through a lot for some people. Why some people lose interest? Why some people compare their ex to their new person? Oh, well, some people are still acting in transactionalism and they don't want a new person. Or they think that other people are gonna be a repeat, as if people are just printed and repetition or repeating similar character of other humans. That in itself is a sign it won't work out long term. True, right? That's just a simple one. Very dangerous. They are deleting more now because of that. True. But the losing interest, a lot of times that's just growing apart. Or maybe the interests weren't there and the commonalities or mutual appreciation wasn't there to begin with. It's better to recognize it, appreciate it for the good times, learn what you can, and move the fuck on. Because otherwise you'll get dragged down and we only got this one life. Experience the sadness. Mourn it. Mourn its loss. But don't live there. More than likely, I guess that you're, you may be Muslim or Hindu. But in Judeo-Christian belief, or in Judaism, there's a thing called the Kaddish. It's a rite of death passage, where for the week, 7 days, following the burial, or the death specifically, all the mirrors are covered, and you dress modestly. Now, I'm not Jewish, but I think this is a good example. And on the 8th day, you throw a wicked party, like a wicked party, and you get trashed. And you take all the mirrors off, and you dance, and you wear fancy clothes and colorful outfits. And the prayer that you say, V'kadal v'kadash v'eramal, is a prayer for the living, not the dead, because they must go on. The humbleness and the humility of the remembrance of those 7 days is washed away, and you move on. You've done your tithe, you've done your time, you said goodbye, and you move on. Grieving, one way or the other, takes a practice, and not everybody has those practices. I've had good and bad, Ambreen. I've had ups and downs, fantasy wonderland experiences, and horror shows. Everything you can imagine. And more. And nowadays, I'm just dating. I'll probably be more apt to date even more once I'm done building my house. Oh. Very cool. Hindus and Christian friends. Nice. Yeah, it can be, the reason I bring it up at all is because, and I know Muslims have something very similar, actually. I don't remember what it's called, though. It's not the, I don't want to get it wrong. I should know this, too. I traveled with a group of gentlemen who prayed 5 times a day for many years. I was with them, so I should know more about Muslim traditions and beliefs. But there you go, American cultural idiot. That's me. Now, I know a lot about things, but I should know more. Akil would be able to tell us all kind of ideas. All kind. I need to change the visual in the background. Give me 1 second. Where am I not on Josie? Oh no, I'm not on Josie Kin's channel. That's what's going on. Okay. Hold tight. Where is it? Oh yeah. Yeah. Here's the other one I wanted to share with you. India and Pakistani have many things. Yes, true. Y'all were the same country for a long time. Share borders and a lot of things. The images now are more imagery put together from what people see in psychedelic environments when they're on hallucinogens. Oh, your grandfather was from India. Very cool. Whereabouts? If you don't mind me asking. There's so many different fascinating areas and cultures in India and Pakistan that are just ancient. So I appreciate it all. It's amazing. And, you know, most Americans don't know much about it. And the Americans that do go over there get obsessive about it and, you know, act weird and stop bathing normally. So, yeah, because they think that's, I don't want to talk about it. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, they stopped bathing, true. I mean, both grandparents from Patiala, I'm gonna brutalize that. Pichala, India, Punjab now, and you're in Pakistani Punjab, and you're technically Aryan. Oh, nice. Yeah, they know, Bridget. You know what I'm talking about. They stop bathing. They just go over there like, oh my God, in India, I must smell like the street, okay? And they come back smelling like actual like street garbage. It's terrible. It's also because they've been living in a hovel corner, showing you pictures of them on the Ganges, bathing next to where they're. Yeah, you know. Anyways, why did I get sick? Where's a latte? I can't believe there's no Starbucks here. Yeah. Anyway, actually, there are Starbucks over there. And a lot of people, when she says she's Aryan, people don't understand that that's actually a group of people in Pakistan, Punjab area. Yeah. Not light-skinned. Anyways, we don't need to go down that. You know, it's just some Middle Europeans being like, we want that. That looks great. Let's take that. We love that. Yeah. You know what that's about. Yeah. When they like something else so much they gotta covet and take it. Crazy about taking other cultures. White people. Just gonna say it. Let me just say it. White people. True. Especially from the Middle Ages, white people. It's so weird. Anyways. Love. It's a many splendored thing, and when I say that, it has many different versions and different angles and different ways that people can go about it. Many different ways that they experience it. Some people like to be controlled. Some people like to be in control. Some people like to be partnered in equal fashion. Some people like to be coddled and taken care of. To each their own. There are as many different versions of love, the experience of, the interaction, interpersonally so, as there are humans on the planet. And for each one of them, they come from a different position, a different experience from the day they were born, and a different reason why they want and seek the companionship and interests of others the way they do. And this doesn't have to be just sex, and it doesn't have to be just intimacy, and it doesn't have to be just commonality. I'm talking about love for life. And I don't mean for the length of life. I mean for the experience of life. This thing, this gift, this experience itself, this sentience, the awareness, the breathing, the bathing. Oh yeah, Punjab. Also very tall people. A very good-looking tall people, just in general in that area. Punjab, fiery, some of the best warriors on the planet at some point. Best for 400 or 500 years, best warrior tactics on the planet. Everybody who war games uses some form of Punjab element. True. In fact, my mom was just at the gates. I can't remember what the name of the gates are, where the two guards are facing, or the guards are facing off on the border. Very cool. Green eyes. Green-eyed girl. Green-eyed girl. Forgot to put up the heart. Meant to do that like 20 minutes ago. I think it's almost time to change the music too. It's a good groove, but it has done its thing. In the meanwhile, we will use the backup music, because there is always a backup to the backup. Where are we at? We're at you ready? Yeah! Come on, you feeling that? Oh, the producer, he's somewhere. Get going, come on. Woo! Come on. What am I watching? Oh yeah, psychedelic visuals. That's right. All right. The producer is somewhere around, probably asleep. You know how the producers are. Let's pick a new piece. Pretty good tension music for, changeover, right? Woo! What am I looking for here? the changeover music too. Ready for the drop? Ready for the drop? All right. Woo! See if I can get this crossover right. Oh no, it loaded the same one. Let's try that again. My bad. Yeah, about 20 years ago. Oh, you were born in Tabuk. That's rad. Totally foreign lifestyle. This is something. Yeah, my mom just came back, actually. She was in India not long ago, like a couple months ago, like 4 months ago. Yeah, she's been traveling quite a lot. And it's an example where love can change. Yeah, because love changes as you change. The needs, the interests, the values, they will arc and curve. They will make a difference in your life and others, but only if you allow them. And in the case of my mother, she's been traveling around with her 94-year-old boyfriend. They're going back out again. They just got back from Europe. They go skydiving, as you've probably heard me say. They're taking advantage of life. And I gotta support them on that. I'm a little wary, of course, but you know what? It's her life to enjoy. And if she wants to do that, good on her. We should all espouse to have beauty and love and companionship at any age. Just because you get older doesn't mean you suddenly have to be alone. And in fact, it's better for you. You live longer with a companion because you keep each other mobile and busy and interested and challenged. Nice to talk to you. Oh, nice to talk to you. You're always welcome. Of course, Embry, you know I appreciate your energy. It's a lot of fun. And you know, as we're coming up on the 4-hour mark, I've decided that I'm going to basically round off the show. Because I believe that you all have the message. And the message is clear. Oh, you're okay. I understand. Love is a universal effect. It's something we all, end up taking part in one way or another. Whether we love our parents, or love our friends, love our environment, whether we share our hearts vulnerably with others, or we share it in our art, in our writing, in our thoughts, or just in the help we give to others, in our service in life, or our expression, our character. Love comes in many forms. Love comes in many ways. It's when we limit our ability to express and be vulnerable and accept in and see love in all the many facets that it comes. Oh, you're welcome at any time. You can just hang out and, curse at people in Pakistani if you want, by the way. Be the wild card. I'm all, you don't have to tell anyone you speak any English. I'll just make up stuff and be like, interpret completely incorrectly. It's more fun that way. I'll just yes and. Our experience of life, this sentient walk, this stride, piece by piece, through breathing, feel, sleep, and all the range of things that come in between the waking states. The one combiner of it all, the one thing that is constant, that gives us a little bit of hope in a dark vacuum of space on this little tiny blue dot. It's the fact that we might have chance to feel similarly and share that feeling with another. So when I suggest that this is a universal, I also suggest that it's up to each and every one of us to reach our hand out to the other people around us and say, you can come with me. You don't have to live down in a pit. You don't have to be alone. I know you're awkward, and I don't care. I know that you're looking for something else. Take my hand. It takes each and every one of us, one by one, offering that little bit of love to pull people out of the darkness. What is that darkness? It's the limitation of their own prison making, their own mental prison, the one that keeps them afraid, the one that keeps them selling and buying themselves into an indoctrination of fear of the unknown, of the chances that we have to take, of the camaraderie and the trust and the vulnerability we each must give one another to further advance well-being for all. Well, I'll tell you this, that prison is an imaginary thing. I got a sledgehammer back here. It's also imaginary. I'll lend it to you. It's called the Sledgehammer of Mirth. It'll smash down any prison that a mental blockade builds. And while I'm mentioning that, I want to remind you that this blockade is embodied by a physical statue in every major city called the obelisk. Now that is a physical representation of how power works on the planet Earth. It is an imaginary item embodied in a physical structure. It is a funnel up to a separated structure. That funnel is you and I holding up that other structure. And that funnel is there because people allow it to be there. Now the funnel sends up the energy. It sends up the fear. It sends up the money. It sends up the power. And it holds up a structure that's not connected that's called the Ben. It's a pyramid. And that pyramid is a scheme to keep the rest of us from loving and experiencing our life and our spirit and our freedom and our oneness. The Dakah of it all. D-A-K-A-H. Dakah. To be as one. Now I could explain more, but it's not worth it. It's all you need to know. That it's all a game to keep you in fear of love, of loving life, of loving each other, of being free to see the world as you wish to see it. Now, when we remove that structure, that funnel underneath the Ben, the Ben comes crashing to the ground, we kick it to the corner, and it now becomes a doorstop for each and every one of us. There's only one way to change the way we see the world and the world itself, and it's one person, one human, one mind, one spirit at a time. And each one of us becomes that seed that plants the flower, that passes its pollen onto the bees, that carry that pollen onto the breeze, hoping that there will be other flowers growing. So the thought and importance of love on planet Earth is manifested in everything we do and spread by every single person, one by one, in earnest, so that we may take the steps together. And don't you worry, we are legion. Because most of planet Earth, most of the humans on it, most of the sentient creatures have one focus. Live life and enjoy. And that's the message I bring to you. I hope you're able to take it with you that way. I hope you find love in one way or another. your life is filled with joy. And I hope this has found you full of that joy. I'm AronMSound. You've been watching a show dedicated to bringing you a different point of view with a different kind of voice and a different kind of intention than most of the other bullshit that's on this here platform. And I say bullshit because there's a lot of negative sales points that want you to stay in fear. And I don't give a fuck about that. I want you to find love. I want you to find happiness. I want you to live your life and bring to fruition the possibilities we have here between us all. And with that, my friends, there's really only one message. And I think you know what that message is. When the bar comes in really, really low, and you see someone you care about just about to hit that bar, and I'll answer this before I go. Why in love does a person think they will never gonna find a person that they think the person is so unique? Because love is a chemical drug in our brain. That's the same drug as addiction, as pain, as longing, as joy, as fascination, as strife. Our brain needs love. And so, like a drug, it takes time to wean off. Since it comes from the same area of the brain as all the rest of those interactions, we should expect that there is a time to get cold turkey on love, if it's like that. And it is sad, but it's the healthier response. C'est la vie. Such is life. By the way, there's the producer. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm AronMSound. When the bar is real low and you see someone you care about, someone you love, about to run right on into it and smack their head, there's only one response, and it's pretty simple. And I invite you to say it with me now as I head out the door. Look out! Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm so glad we can share this message, and I hope you come back again. I have the Ministry of the Flying Pig tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll be sharing silly, funny, funny, silly. Another stream of consciousness, but this time kick off your shoes and join on into the Dadaist ministry that has no religious belief other than let's be silly. Let's let the inner pig out and let it fly. I'm AronMSound. You've been watching the show that extends the conversation in directions you did not expect. And that show, I hope, reminds you look up. Click.